So playoff collapse in Jacksonville. The team fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi and quarterbacks coach Shane Day. Changes had been anticipated after Saturday's game, one in which LA had just 320 yards and 3 TDs, even though the defense forced 5 turnovers. For now, it appears that head coach Brandon Staley's job is safe.
The new Venture X card from Capital One. Earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars and 5x miles on flights when you book through Capital One Travel, plus 2x miles on all other purchases. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents and Friends with Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Brent Martineau.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Pull Jack from him! Yeah! Pull Jack from him!
This is and Friends with Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, and Brent Martineau. On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Then welcome in, folks. Come on in. Don't push. Don't shove. Be kind. Lots of room on the bandwagon still. Seats are filling up fast.
Yeah, barely.
Lots of room, though. Still comfy. Cushiest seats in all of Florida. Ain't going to find room on that Dolphins or Bucs bandwagon anymore. They packed up shop. 3 flat tires. Driving home. Welcome to the final remaining Floridian team, city, in the NFL playoffs. It's the And Friends Show, ESPN 690. I'm Aaron Schachter. Kasey Kurtz behind the glass.
Yep.
Put him behind me. If you're watching on video, he's next to me. That way.
Yeah.
And if you're just listening, he's just a voice.
Yeah,
You're going to hear him in your head. And under normal circumstances, if you heard Kasey Kurtz in your head, I would suggest getting medical assistance immediately.
I would as well.
But for the next 3 hours, don't worry. It's just a side effect of forcing yourself to listen to this radio program.
Yeah.
Case,
Happy accident.
It's not so happy for everybody.
It should be. What's up with your dog?
How's it going, buddy?
We're thriving. We're thriving. Morning shows, afternoon shows, evening shows.
You're the hardest working man in radio. I mean, I give you a lot of guff. I give you a lot of smoke. But the reality is, every time I turn around, you're pressing buttons on some radio show in this building.
Come on. You know what it is?
You owe me 5 cents for that.
For yelling?
Yeah, well, it's my
turn
royalties.
my head.
That's the double royalties then, 10 cents for the come on and the turn in your head. Those are mine. Don't take them.
That's fair. Honest mistake.
Did you watch any football last night? I know you've been working your face off.
Yeah, a lot of working. I saw what was happening out there between the Bucs and the Cowboys.
You're checking it out?
Just checking it out.
I was checking it. I fell asleep before the end of the game, but I was checking it out.
So did the Bucs.
It seemed like one of those games where you can afford to fall asleep at halftime. But dare I say, we almost had that kind of mistake happen on Saturday night.
Almost.
So I'm watching this Bucs and Cowboys game last night, and they're going into halftime. What was the score, like 24? 21, 24?
Yeah.
Something like that, 24-0.
Yeah, it was definitely 24 because, we'll get into that. 6, 12, 18, 24.
There you go. But, yeah, rough one. Actually, going into halftime, it looks like it was 18-0.
There you go.
But then they came out and scored the first 6 before the Bucs got on the board.
Emphasis on the 6.
But you're watching that and you're like, maybe. I mean, Tom Brady could certainly get it done.
If anybody was going to get it done, it would have been Tom.
Not like they don't have studs on that receiving core out in Tampa Bay. Of course, you got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and the retiring ghost of Julio Jones.
Yeah. Leonard Fournette, not a receiver, but running back in the backfield. Talent all over that Bucs roster.
I mock Julio, but he had a great night, 7 for 74 with a touchdown.
Well, at least somebody did on the Bucs. He's the only one.
Godwin, 10 of 85. It's a decent night. Didn't hit pay dirt. Needed to.
Needed to. A couple times.
Mike Evans dropped a possible tutty.
Yeah.
He was 6 of 74. The receivers were kind of doing their thing, man. You can't say they didn't. But, boy, did they not get it where it counted.
They did not. They did not. And,
Tom Brady barely threw the ball last night.
Barely.
Only 66 pass attempts.
66 pass attempts.
He's only 1 year younger than that number.
It feels like it. 66. What a disaster.
If that dude had any arthritis on his shoulder, he knocked it off last night.
Ready to go for next season.
That shoulder is super clean. You need surgery, Tom? No thanks. I'll just throw 66 times in the game.
Yeah. That'll do it to you.
Knock off whatever rust and dust is on that thing.
Yeah.
Any splintered bone? Not anymore. Worked it to a nub, like the pencil you used to use for homework in second grade.
Amen, brother. I didn't do homework, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. You
I'm
can
with
totally tell, by the way.
Oh, really? Well, that's
Wildly
nice
unprepared for life, Kasey.
Oh, that's nice of you. Listen to what I was prepared for today. I had this new idea for the show.
Oh, what is it?
Since, there's only one football game on last night.
Was that football?
It was an NFL game, right?
Fair enough.
They sold it to us that way.
It was under the product license, the shield, if you would.
And there's a couple of storylines, right? You just talked about, you got Tom Brady, you got the Cowboys, a whole lot of things happening there. So I thought, what better moment than the game, the whole game? We're going to play the whole game today on the radio.
In its entirety.
In its entirety.
Well, then we don't have to do a show.
In just 90 seconds.
Oh, okay. That's different.
So this is a new idea we're trying out here. If it sucks, let me know in the chat. But this is 90 seconds of what you missed in this football game featuring 21 Savage.
Ooh.
It's just that simple.
Okay.
2nd and 10. Prescott protected. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. Dalton Schultz.
This is an extra point.
How do you miss an extra point? That's the only job you got.
That's one.
How do you do that?
One miss.
Prescott. End zone. Touchdown.
Back doing his
Dallas.
thing.
Schultz's second of the night.
Schultz doing his thing.
Oh my God.
Got to be kidding me.
I've never seen it.
It's another one.
Oh, no.
Why are we
What's
kicking
going
it? Why are we kicking it?
Why are we kicking it, Peyton?
2nd and goal. Brady pulls it down. Now throws it. Intercepted by Curse. And there is a red zone interception for Tom Brady, his
Very
first as a
rare.
Buccaneer.
Yeah.
Prescott keeps. And that is caught for a touchdown, an extra point. He's missed 3 tonight, 4 in a row. And he has done it again.
No good.
Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Nice.
It wasn't like an all-out blitz.
Oh, all right. He made the extra point.
There you go.
They're celebrating. He made an extra point.
Let's go. We made a kick. We made a kick.
I didn't listen. Simply just didn't listen to anybody else's opinions, anybody else's thoughts.
Including the ref.
That was the whole game in 90 seconds.
Man, you thought Trevor was having a nightmare. How about the Cowboys kicker?
I tell you what.
How do you say his last name? Maher?
Maher. 4 missed PATs.
That is rough.
That is just brutal.
It's one thing to miss a couple of field goals from different parts of the field, but PATs, it's so rare to see misses with those.
Yeah.
Little chippers. Chip shots.
4 times.
This segment brought to you by the head mitt. Bringing that back from earlier this season.
Good call.
Man.
Yeah, that's a tough night for him.
And if you're on the Cowboys, like, granted, you're clobbering the Bucs. But you're watching that going, imagine if this was close. Imagine if this man's foot lost us the entire season.
Yeah, dude's got to be upset, right? And, good teammates are out there, supporting their guy. They're also rolling him, which is a good thing. But the first one, okay, it could happen. Second one, third one, I don't know. I'm cussing somebody out. I'm like, what are you doing? Fourth one.
Once you miss the third one, you are not hitting the field again.
You shouldn't. That's what Paige says. Like, why are we kicking?
No.
It's a great question. I don't know.
Might as well go for 2. You're going to miss it anyway. You might as well go for 2.
You might as well go for 2. And see, that's a tough spot, by the way, for Mike McCarthy. You're just killing him. Like, do you go for 2 and run it up? But your kicker's not making it. Like, it's I
don't think anyone's looking at McCarthy if he goes for 2 on the 4th possible missed field goal attempt. And they're going, Mike, what are you doing? Running up the score? It's like, no, we're just trying to score at all.
We're just trying to get the points back that we earned.
Just trying to
4 straight
get
times.
what we left on the table last quarter.
It's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
But they still won.
They still demolished them.
Man, this is going around. We got to see. We got to wonder what we're going to see next. 4 fumbles this weekend?
Hopefully not in
not in the Kansas City game.
Not in the Kansas City Jags game. But, yeah, 4 missed kicks. What a brutal night. But on the flip side, the Cowboys dominate the game and will now have to play San Francisco. I don't give them a chance against San Francisco.
Not many people do. And we could talk about that in a little bit. But just looking at the stat comparisons from the game, because while it was a blowout, it's not like the Bucs were inept all night. They just couldn't hit the end zone. You look at the first down comparison, 26 for the Cowboys, 24 for the Bucs. Third down efficiency, 7 of 13 for the Cowboys. It's pretty good, hovering around a little better than 50%. 10 of 18 for the Bucs is better than 50%. Fourth down efficiency, 2 of 2 for the Cowboys, 1 of 3. Okay, small sample there. Total plays, the Bucs ran 80. And we know 66 of them were Tom Brady throwing.
It's ridiculous.
But they ran 80 plays. It's not like they didn't have possession of the ball. 25-minute time of possession, granted 10 minutes less than what the Cowboys were able to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Passing yards, 297 for Dak, 334 for Tommy.
When you throw it 60 times, you better.
They couldn't rush the ball. What happened to Leonard Fournette?
That's the problem. They couldn't run the ball, and then they were down so much they really couldn't try to run the ball. But, I mean, even Rachaad White, who's a guy that they felt good about, a young player, neither of them could get anything going. And I guess shout out to Dallas for not letting them run the ball. But Ryan Jensen comes back. You thought they might run it a little more. No, that wasn't the case.
Micah Parsons was getting it done too, although I don't know if he came up with did he come up with a sack last night? I know he was back there 10 times, 10 hurries for Micah Parsons. 8 from the right side, 2 from the left side.
Don't matter where.
So 8 against the left tackle.
As long as he's not going up against Walker Little. Man held him down when he came in there against the Jags.
It just goes to show you how special what Walker Little has been doing is.
100%.
I mean,
that's
not
the
just
game he
Micah
came in
Parsons.
cold.
Yeah, not just Micah Parsons. I mean, just last week,
Khalil
Mack and Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
You find me a more feared bookend for the front for any team. They got to be up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Walker Little shut those guys down. I mean, for that matter, so did Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
Shut him down. Kind of hope to see that again. You got some beasts running after the quarterback on Kansas City, specifically Frank Clark. But a few guys on there can break into the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to hope you see a really massive performance from the Jags offensive line. But back to this Cowboys-Bucs game. Were you shocked? I thought the Cowboys were going to lose. I was on this radio program yesterday telling everyone, don't worry about it. This is the annual first-round exit.
You did.
Did I look silly after halftime?
You did. A bit goofy.
A bit goofy.
Yeah, they got you good. Yeah, I thought the Bucs were going to win. I picked the Bucs. I felt good about the Bucs. I didn't think Dallas was legit. I thought the turnovers were a real thing for Dak, and Tampa came out and played awful. And there's not much to say, man. They just did not play good. They don't look good. And now I'm starting to wonder about Tampa. Brady's not coming back.
It doesn't seem that
Not
way.
to Tampa, right? Will he play again? I don't know.
Well, Junior Fly in the chat thinks he needs to retire. Junior Fly says, at this point with his age and physical abilities and what I saw last night, Brady needs to retire, go and enjoy his kids, family, and fruits of his hard work. Hey, newsflash, Junior Fly. Apparently, Brady doesn't want to enjoy his kids, or else he would have done that last season. He would have done it.
That is true.
The man wants to play football. And despite what you think you saw last night or how you feel, the dude could still sling it.
Yeah, like, I get it.
Better than more than half the quarterbacks in this league.
I don't know.
You think he's QB 16 or worse?
Why not?
Oh, my goodness. Don't make me do it, man.
Listen, man, I'm looking at the Bucs this year with all those weapons. We talked about it. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette. I mean, Julio Jones, you don't think much of him. He's old, I get it. Russell Gage. They got tight ends. They got all kinds of players. They didn't score this year. 25th in points scored.
They did have a rough season on offense.
He's a quarterback.
I understood. But he was an unprotected quarterback at 45 years old. I mean, it's got to be hand in hand. If you got Tom Brady on the team, it's got to be paramount for you to give this man 3 seconds in the pocket. He only needs 2.3 of them.
I get that.
But if you can't let him have his 3, it doesn't matter who you have catching the ball at wide receiver, and they've got good ones.
They do.
You're not going to get the ball out there because Brady isn't rolling out and get away from anybody. Now, he did try some trickery last night. I don't know if you saw this on one of the Dallas interceptions. He tried to slide and trip the cornerback who was running with the ball.
I did see that.
Sneaky old dude.
Come on, Tom.
That's essentially the football player version of I stole your nose. Like, what are you doing, Grandpa? Get off the floor. What are you, you're not doing a soccer slide on the 30-yard line trying to get this guy to fumble the ball.
Dude's trying to pick up a yellow card, potentially a red.
Yes, exactly.
He's trying to get sent off because they're losing by 30. He's like, please put me out of my misery here.
Yeah, wrong league, Tom. World Cup was a couple of weeks ago.
Wrong.
What are you doing?
League.
You almost tripped up his player. You almost let the dude run free.
Yeah.
Old man sneaky stuff.
You want to hear from Tom Brady?
I would love to hear his comments after the game.
So this is kind of what what popped up after the game, and long press conference for Tom Brady, and they asked him before this question. This is the one everyone's talking about, but, hey, what's the plans? Tom said, I'm going to go home, get a night's sleep, and, move on with the next day. So no hints at retirement early in the press conference, but this is how Tom Brady ended what is, I think most believe, his last Bucs press conference of all time, but maybe his last NFL press conference of all time. Listen to this. Tell me what you think.
All right. I just want to say thank you guys for everything this year.
Welcome,
I really
buddy.
appreciate all your effort, and I know it's hard for you guys too. It's hard for us
Thank
players to make it through, and you guys got a tough job, and I appreciate all that you guys do to cover us and everyone who watches and is a big fan of the sport. We're very grateful for everyone's support, and
Thanks, bud.
hopefully, I love this organization. It's a great place to be, and thank you everybody for welcoming me. All you regulars, and just very grateful for the respect, and I hope I gave the same thing back to you guys. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Is that a man that's done with football or a man that's done with the Bucs?
That sounds like a man who's done with the Bucs.
You don't think with football?
No.
Think there's more football to be played from Tom Brady?
I mean, I don't know if anybody else feels that way. We'll have to see in the offseason where those offers come from. You're already hearing rumors of a few, but no, I don't think this man wants to retire. I do think that press conference sounds like someone who's saying goodbye to his current location.
It's a weird, well, not a weird move, but it's an interesting move from Tom Brady to thank the media, right? Now, granted, he doesn't leave his job often. He's only done it one other time. So I don't remember if he did this with New England, but this, it's kind of an interesting play. Like, this is Tampa Tom Brady, I feel like. Like Harden Tom Brady that was with the Patriots all these years. Like, he's not saying this.
You think Tampa Tom is soft?
I'm saying Tampa turned Tom soft.
And we know from Clay Harbor, who we'll have on the show tomorrow, that Tom Brady might be one of the most competitive people in the history of humanity. I mean, even just a video game threw Tom into a fit.
Yep.
I don't even know that this guy knew video games existed before that.
I didn't either.
Back in his day, they used to play video games on wood. Just etch and whittle into sticks.
There you go.
Showing each other, look what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady, he's not retiring. Nonsense. He's out there slinging it. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
All right, so if I was to go down to the middle, I won't even start at the top of the list. Let's just start at Kyler Murray. Tom Brady or Kyler Murray?
You know how I feel about
All right,
Kyler
that's
Murray.
16. Kirk Cousins or Tom Brady? Stop it. Tom Brady. That's 17. Danny Dimes is rated 18. I know
Daniel
you're sweet
Jones.
on him. I know you're sweet on him, so we'll skip it. That's
Give
fine.
me Dimes.
Ryan Tannehill or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady.
Of course. That's 19. Let's go above. Let's go above Kyler Murray. I know how you feel about Brock Purdy. I won't even say it.
I wouldn't.
I'd even give you Aaron Rodgers. I won't say it. Justin Fields or Tom Brady?
Justin Fields.
For potential, but next season?
Justin Fields.
Okay. Lamar Jackson?
Lamar.
Dak?
After last night, I got to go Dak.
Geno Smith?
No.
So he is essentially 15 or 16 on your list.
Truly.
So you got like more than a dozen teams that he can go to comfortably and start.
Sure, but now eliminate the teams that he would never play for.
The Jets are really the only one I could think of. Like, who else is he
He's
never
not
going
going
to
to
play for?
Seattle.
Well, there are lots of teams he won't end up going to, but never play for. Why wouldn't he ever play for Seattle?
It just seems like a weird spot for Tom Brady to be at. The Seattle
The big
Seahawks.
rumor is Vegas.
Yeah, and our chat is talking about that as well. His offensive coordinator is the head coach there. They already showed Derek Carr the door. I mean,
Also, Vegas is in a position to draft a quarterback or make a trade for Derek Carr for a young quarterback. So you put Tom in front of that quarterback and you learn him something. For instance, if Derek Carr gets shipped out to the Jets and the Jets ship back Zach Wilson to the Raiders,
yeah,
it would benefit Zach Wilson immensely
yeah.
to not play football anymore, but it would benefit Zach Wilson immensely to learn behind the GOAT.
Let's put Zachy Boy Wilson behind Tom Brady.
But you could say that about any young quarterback.
Which, by the way, I'm sure Zach Wilson will be fine in Las Vegas. I'm sure there'll be no problems.
There's
None.
even a rumor that you got Belichick interested.
That would be nuts.
And you got a guy like Mac Jones already there, but still young, impressionable.
But if I'm Tom, I'm like, we still ain't got no receivers.
And the offensive line isn't great either.
I've been gone 4 years and we still don't have any receivers, or 3 years, whatever.
It seems like an organizational choice by New England, doesn't it?
It is.
Never receivers and never a real running back. Let's just rotate everybody but the offensive line and make sure the defense is stout.
Why'd you rule out the Jets so quickly?
Because he was like, it's like Marino would never go to the Jets. Brady's not going to go to the Jets.
You don't think so?
No.
New York?
Look, the Mets ended up grabbing Glavine after he killed him for years, so I can't say never, but no, it doesn't seem. I'm just saying there are other teams. The Cardinals? Is there a Kyler trade in the works?
But why? Why would you go to Arizona?
Good weather.
They're a mess. They don't even know their
Lots
coaches.
of people retire to Arizona.
No, that's fair.
The dry heat. He gets to go to the Golden Corral and have dinner at 2 p.m. Like lots of it. Matlock is on throughout the day. Lots of reasons to go to Arizona.
I think this is just me not being able to see Tom Brady going somewhere else.
I think that's okay, but like when he left New England, we pretty much couldn't see him anywhere.
That's fair.
Like where did you imagine him going when he left New England? It was unfathomable.
Yeah. I mean, not Tampa, but I think it worked out with Tampa. It ended up being a good landing spot. But I just think if you talk about some of these non-legacy teams, I have a hard time believing that he would go there, like Arizona.
If Brady goes to the Dolphins, does it make the penalty they're suffering this year worth it? Because they forfeit a draft pick in this year's draft because of the Tom tampering.
I don't know why he would. I know why he would go. I don't.
If they don't think Tua can do it, what if they're scared the next time Tua takes a hit, he's out forever?
I mean, that's reasonable, but what if he's healthy through training camp and then you get to week 1 and you have to bench one of those guys? You benching Tua or you benching Tom?
No, you're in this scenario, I believe they're cutting Tua.
Not a chance. Absolutely not. I know that Miami's the hot rumor because that's where they wanted him. They've got the weapons. They've got. I get it. It makes some sense.
What if the Ravens need a bridge quarterback? What if they're psychotic enough to let go of Lamar Jackson? They pick up a young quarterback, and now they need a bridge quarterback.
I think that'd be dangerous. It'd be fun because you got the defense. And you'd have to still get some weapons that we talked about with Lamar. But I think that Tom Brady with Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman comes back. You get somebody that's somewhat mid. I trust that Tom Brady could probably do it there because their offensive line is already okay.
Also, don't you feel wherever Tom Brady goes, it's almost like one of the reasons you signed him is because he got a 35% chance of also getting Gronk in the deal?
That's fair. It's always on the table.
Wherever he's going to go.
It's always
That's
on the
why
table.
you look at a place like Miami and you go, oh, this is a little more interesting. Vegas, a little more interesting. Any of the coasts and Vegas and any Florida team. And I think Gronk is like, huh? What's going on? What happened?
Gronk lives in Miami, by the way.
Yeah, that's not shocking.
Well, I'm just saying, I think you got like a 70% chance if you go to Miami.
What about the
that you get
Colts?
Gronk.
Can Brady teach Ellinger what to do?
But that kind of goes back to your Jets thing, right? I mean, they're not in the same division, but Peyton
Rivals
and Brady
for a while.
I mean, that would be weird. That would be odd. Glenn in the chat, I believe, said, what about replacing Rodgers in Green Bay?
Another opportunity. I just don't think he wants to be there.
Yeah.
Like, who does?
Who wants to go to? Where'd you say? Where's it at? Appleton, Wisconsin?
Appleton, Wisconsin is right next to Green Bay.
Yeah, the place you hate.
I don't hate Appleton or Green Bay.
You said it was like the worst place you've ever been.
No, but there was nothing to do there. Listen, you get off the bus in Appleton, Wisconsin when you're traveling with the team, and the first thing you do is get hit in the face by the paper mill smell, which smells like poop. It smells like a dog took a giant poop and the wind blew it over.
Nice.
So you don't want to be there in the first place. Then you realize that the main fare, the main food of Appleton, Wisconsin is cheese curds.
I like cheese curds.
Oh, do you? Because here was my experience. I got off the bus. I was like, hey, here, cheese curds are the thing. Where can I get some? Dude points me to the gas station.
Not as fun.
Well, I went to the gas station and I bought a bag of cheese curds from the gas station, Kasey Curds.
Now, that's wild that they do be selling cheese curds at the gas station.
Let me tell you something. Nothing special about cheese curds. Squeaky cheese. That's all it is.
Pretty simple food, yeah.
It just tastes like cheese and it squeaks in your teeth.
I like cheese curds.
It's actually kind of maddening.
If I go to a restaurant and they have cheese curds, I'm getting them.
Oh, now I can get with some fried cheese curds.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about a better, rounder mozzarella stick.
Smaller.
But cheese curds in a bag from a gas station, I got to say, it's a top 3 mistake in my life.
In your life? You've made a lot of mistakes, dude.
Believe me, being on the show is number one. But what I did in Appleton, Wisconsin, the velocity with which I had to run, I swear on my life, I had to run back to the hotel from the restaurant to expel the demons of the gas station cheese curds. It was a rough night for me. It was rough. It ruined dinner and breakfast the next morning. Let that be a lesson, kids. No gas station cheese curds.
Just don't go to Appleton, Wisconsin.
Appleton was fine. The bar in Appleton, it's the name of the bar and the restaurant. The only one in town. It's called The Bar.
That's the worst.
It's great. It was fun. The Bean Snapper was a fun night. Saw a player or two there. That was a fun hang. The paper mill, not so much. The gas station cheese curds, no. Not going to do that again.
Okay, so Tom's not going to Green Bay.
Unless he likes those gas station cheese curds.
He might. By the way, JR Fly in the chat, Junior Fly, whichever it may be. Trust me, as a diehard Jags fan, I would love to see Brady go to the Titans. We would feast.
It's a possibility. Look, Vrabel's the head coach. Outside of this year, it's one of the better
I didn't even think about that.
Organizations. I think
still no weapons. All these teams have one thing in common.
No, don't get crazy now. Treylon Burks is going to be a good wide receiver. Robert Woods is no slouch. He wasn't really used well this past year. He's no slouch. He's still got King Henry setting records. Offensive line is decent. When the defense isn't injured, they're decent. Like, don't sleep on the Titans. We want to believe they're in a spiral right now. But there's no proof yet. You got to wait to see what they do at the quarterback position.
Listen, I am here all day to besmirch Brady and say that he's not top 15.
Okay.
But I will get extremely uncomfortable if he goes to the Titans.
Yeah.
Also the Colts, and he won't go to the Texans. But I would get extremely uncomfortable.
All either of those two teams needed was consistent quarterback play. Now, whether you want to blame it on Tannehill or not, I wouldn't. Whether you want to blame it on Ryan or not, I wouldn't. I know you would. All you needed was consistent passing game on those teams. It's a way different story than the South this year. Way different story. But that's another time for another day when Brady signs somewhere else. For now, it's Jags and Chiefs. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hear from the coach, Doug Peterson. He was at the podium yesterday. We didn't have a chance to dissect it. We will dive in with both feet. And no cheese curds.
Both of feet. By the way, people loving your squeaky cheese in the chat.
Okay. Obviously, they've had cheese curds.
It's great if you don't get it from a gas station.
It's literally not great.
It's great.
But that's okay. You're allowed to have terrible tastes. You're like 13 years old. Have you even had any foodie foods? I shouldn't talk. I have like the diet of a 12-year-old.
There you go.
Go home and eat chicken tenders for dinner.
Remember, we eat lunch together.
That's
so,
true.
like, I know what you're eating for lunch.
That's true. I'm being exposed here.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. Nothing
Aaron
to see
Schachter
here.
exposed.
Nothing to see here. We'll be back on the Ann Friends show. We'll hear from Doug E.P. We'll talk a little more Jags Chiefs. Waiting on TV's Brent Martineau. He's going to join us in the 4 o'clock hour for the rest of the show. And that's what we're doing. It's the Ann Friends show. ESPN 690. Right after this.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny skies today. Mild temperatures reaching the low 70s this afternoon, near 70 along the coast. Mostly clear tonight. Some fog develops, and overnight we drop down to the low 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. Main office, Jacksonville.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjax.com.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Wenner, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more. more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial ** invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Fields Auto Group is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and buying or leasing a luxury car on the First Coast is easy with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, and where my wife leases her car from Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, no problem. Fields Auto Group will order it and at a fair price. So stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. FieldsAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Kim Simon with Yoga for Change. Thank you to the players for supporting our mission of addressing the mental and physical health of veterans, youth, individuals who are incarcerated, and those living with mental health conditions through the practice of yoga. 49 days to go.
Blackwater Soul Review returns to the St. Augustine Amphitheater in April, featuring J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, Lucas Nelson and the Promise of Real, Robert Cray Band, and Jackie Venson. Blackwater Soul Review, April 14th and 15th with J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
With the holidays behind us, it's time to take care of business. Car business. Now is a great time to get the new car, truck, SUV, or minivan you've been waiting for at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Come to 9600 Atlantic Boulevard and test drive a new Ram 1500 Bighorn. You'll see why truck buyers are moving to Ram. For a limited time, save up to $3,000. Inventory is up, and our selection of new Ram trucks is the best around. Maybe it's a new Charger or Challenger you're looking for. Now is the time to save. Want a minivan for your growing family? We have new Chrysler Pacificas waiting for you. See our inventory at #1CJD.com. We're ready to make you a new car loan today. Perfect credit or not. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Arlington. Fast and friendly service you can count on. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard, across from the Regency Square Mall.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Pro or against? That seems to be the only thing that matters these days in the marijuana discussion. But what about the facts? At Mary, we've taken it upon ourselves to lay it all out there in our podcast. Just pure, unbiased education about medical marijuana and unlawful use of cannabis. Find it at mary.famu.edu. That's mmeri.famu.edu.
It's go time at UNF Arena for the Ospreys as the calendar is flipped to 2023. ASUN action is underway in men's and women's basketball on the campus of the University of North Florida. If you haven't seen a game courtside or from the new suite, it's one of the best seats in Jacksonville. Swoop with the Ospreys as they build toward a run in March. Buy a ticket, see a schedule, get a score at UNFospreys.com. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida. Hoop it up, swoop it up, UNFospreys.com.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Fall is finally here, and hopefully so are milder temperatures. But don't wait to insulate your home. Take advantage of 20% savings off our summer rates and start saving on those utility bills now and all those hot summers to come.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Welcome back to the Brent Friends Show, ESPN 690. Aaron Schachter here with you guys. Kasey Kurtz joining me on the other side of the glass.
Yep.
Allow me to bounce some stupidity off of him.
Doug.
I always need somebody to say dumb things to.
Amen.
If I was here by myself, none of these dumb things would get said.
Well, they get said on the radio, maybe. That'd be bad.
Oh, you're talking about what I say in the break.
Yeah. It would just come out on the radio. You know?
That's why one day it'll be fun to do a live show. Because we'll go to break, and then all the psychopaths who come to the live show get to hear all the nonsense that we do in the break.
Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that.
It'll just be between all of us.
Yeah.
Lots of toxic workplace talking going on.
Yep. Not gonna not sign on that.
You know I love me a good toxic workplace.
You love it.
Love a little chaos and drama.
Love it more than that one kid you always talk crap about. I'm not gonna say which one.
Hufflepuff? We're not allowed to say Hufflepuff? That's only your show? Okay, that's fine. Hey, look, there's a game happening this weekend.
Is there?
Lots of people care about it. I'm talking, of course, about the Badminton World Championship Finals. It's going to be Saturday at 1 p.m. Kidding. It's a Jaguars game. Playing the Chiefs. Divisional weekend.
Gotta love it.
Do you?
Yes.
I feel like you're kind of nervous.
Oh, terrified. Terrified.
So do you really love it?
You love the opportunity.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
And you could, listen, you brought up the stats yesterday about the Chiefs secondary, and they are majorly mid.
Oh.
And if Trevor Lawrence is cooking, if Trevor Lawrence is playing two halves of football the way he played the second half, now hold on. Granted, they still got Mahomes on the other side. But, the opportunity will be exciting to see what Trevor can do, again, on the biggest stage. And it's always fun to watch Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to be real with you. So...
You almost sound a little bit like Dougie P sounds. We were listening to the presser. He was at the podium yesterday talking about how he's preparing for this week and some of his thoughts after last week. And I'm like, this is a man who sounds like he knows there's a danger on the other side of the field. Now, look, I guess every NFL head coach would sound like that, right? Like no one's going to step to the podium and be like, oh, those guys, come on, we're not scared of those guys. Maybe Coach Prime.
If that's fair.
If Deion ever made it to the NFL and they were like, oh, are you worried about, Justin Herbert this weekend or Pat Mahomes this weekend? You could just picture him going, who?
Mm-hmm.
Tell him I'm coming.
Kind of like Urban Meyer when they said,
Aaron Donald.
You worried about Aaron Donald? He's like,
No, but he really did actually mean that.
Yeah, he's like,
what? Whispering to his equipment man, can you pull this up on Google for a second?
99.
Can you pull up Aaron Donald's Wikipedia page, please?
Yes. Does he have any accomplishments?
Any accomplishments? Is this someone we should be scared of?
Probably.
Is he an executive somewhere? Anyway, Doug at the podium talking about the upcoming week. He was asked a lot of stuff, a lot of Andy Reid questions for Doug. We'll get into it a little bit. But doesn't it feel like we hear a lot about Andy Reid when we talk about Doug?
It makes sense. That's his guy. That's his mentor. And, yeah, I mean, you always got those questions about it, and especially when they're facing off. So, yeah.
How often did Belichick talk about Bill Parcells? Yeah, you weren't born yet.
I wasn't born. I was like, I don't have an answer here.
You were born.
0 years old, my guy. Can't help.
I just like it's
definitely
fine.
At least once.
I don't mind him paying tribute. Clearly, he should if he feels like Andy's responsible for all the stuff he's learned. Just feels like a lot. I guess Doug will address that in a second. But obviously, the big broad question that the media wanted to know as soon as Doug stepped to the podium was, okay, we know you can't get specific, but what is the broad game plan to beat the Chiefs? What are the keys to winning? Cut one.
You got to play disciplined football, number one. You're playing a well-coached team. They're a disciplined football team. We have to be prepared for them, too, as they've had a couple of weeks now to really maybe come up with some wrinkles of their own, right? And that's Coach Reid. And he'll have some wrinkles up his sleeve, I know. But for us, it's just a matter of just staying disciplined and trusting what we're doing and just understand your role within your game plan.
Wrinkles up his sleeve. Doug gets a lot of credit, You know how quarterbacks will get credit for going off script? Doug gets a lot of credit for these wacky, weird. The Philly special, obviously, is probably the most famous.
Mm-hmm.
We had the botched handoff between Agnew, Kirk, and Lawrence. That was going to be one of those plays, possibly. But crediting Andy Reid, always having a wrinkle up his sleeve.
Yep.
He also talked about being disciplined. Did you feel like that was a problem against the Chargers? I didn't think that was that big a problem. Only 3 penalties for the Jaguars. Actually, one of the better games they've played in terms of penalties.
Yeah, I thought they were disciplined, and I also thought they were, and I guess this would still be disciplined, but when things were going wrong in a situation where on the other side Joey Bosa breaks his helmet when he doesn't get a call, you have Zay Jones, who was getting held all game, doesn't get a call, and doesn't freak out. Goes to the sidelines, has a conversation with the ref. Joey Bosa on the other side is breaking his helmet. So I guess that would be discipline as well, but Doug's team is, they're in the moment, but not doing dumb things for the most part to cause penalties they shouldn't outside of the one play with Trayvon Walker, obviously.
I wondered when I heard it if discipline was only referring to penalties or maybe some other things like waiting on routes to develop or being patient as you run those around. I'm not sure. But clearly he feels like they need to focus on discipline when they're playing the Chiefs. And for the right reasons. You make a mistake against the Chiefs, you pay for it most of the time.
Yeah, you can't give them free first downs or free yards or anything. Yeah, they're going to take advantage of it.
They're going to take them whether they're free or not.
That's
so
right.
you can't pad those stats for them.
Make them earn it.
And I did make the point yesterday, I'll make it all week. It's not like the Chiefs will go 3 and out and give you an opportunity to catch up. As a matter of fact, whatever mistakes they make, they only need just a little bit of time to correct.
Very little.
Pat Mahomes can get down that field in a hurry. With a plethora of receiving options, including the best tight end to ever play the game.
Yes.
If not one of them.
I would agree.
I'm with you. So I guess one of the wrinkles up Andy Reid's sleeve, to quote Doug, a couple of weeks ago against the Raiders, was the Kansas City Chiefs spinning huddle play.
Oh, that's right.
You remember this play?
Great play.
It kind of looked like nonsense. Was it a great play?
That was great. If you come out and do that to another team that's getting paid millions of dollars, yeah, that's a great play.
It get a little confusing.
You're built different if you do that.
Look at Max Crosby turn around going, what the heck is this?
It's also embarrassing for the other team.
It really is like a bat flip almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a taunt.
Yeah.
No 15-yard penalty on that one.
Gotta love it.
Spinning hurdle.
Great play.
It only would have been better if they would have turned outwards and did like a little Rockettes kick as they spun. That would have been a little holiday season gimme.
Would have been something. That's for sure.
The media wants to know if Doug is preparing to defense the spinning huddle play. They want to know, hey, are you planning for this kind of trickery? Or do you think you're going to see it in your game? Cut 2.
It's fun and everything, and it's exciting, and players love it. I've been there with Coach Reid when things like that happen, and the players are engaged. Players probably came up with it, quite honestly. But you don't have to spend too much time. Eventually, they got to get lined up within the 40-second time limit.
That's 2 for 2, by the way. Questions and mentions of Coach Reid.
That's fair.
Just counting.
Yep.
Just keeping the scoreboard right back there. So he's not going to plan for the spinning huddle play. I thought it was interesting, though. He thought maybe the players came up with it. I didn't know this was a thing that happened.
Yeah. If you got a good feel for something and if you're so...
A good feel for something. All right, let me take you there. All right, just close your eyes for me. I can see you. Close your eyes. You're not closing your eyes right now. Close them. There you go, buddy. There you go.
I hate
Picture
this.
it.
I hate this because all I hear is you.
You're at Chiefs practice. You guys are going through the plays, going through the progressions, going through everything, throwing pass, Pat Mahomes, pass. You got Pacheco and all these other guys, and Clyde Hilaire running around doing their drills. And then Pat goes in, hey, coach, I know we're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I know everything you have said has come to fruition for us, and it makes us one of the best teams in the league.
Yes.
But I've got this killer idea. Get this. At a very serious moment, during the football game, that we get paid millions of dollars to play and win. What I want to do is make a mockery of the other team by doing ring around the rosy on second down.
I can see it.
And Andy Reid's like, yeah, no, this is a great idea.
I can see it. I'm seeing it right now.
This is a phenomenal idea. Ring around the rosy on 3, ready, break.
I love it.
Apparently, so did the players.
It's a great call.
Interesting to me that maybe they came up with that.
But that's just some insight that most wouldn't have on the Chiefs and Andy Reid and how he runs things because Doug Peterson was with him so long. So
if
now
the players came up with that, though, and he signed off on it, the testicular fortitude of this guy saying, okay, let's do it in a game is monumental.
They were already locked up and done the division in the number 1 seed. Let's have some fun, boys.
That's
you played
fair.
all year.
That's fair.
We can ring around the rosy once.
They really did once.
Not twice, so you better execute.
Yes.
That's what they should do.
How funny if someone like Travis Kelce or Juju Smith-Schuster maybe didn't tie their cleats well enough and would have fallen down during the spinning huddle. Because you know what would have happened. If anyone's ever been to a hardcore rock show and seen the whirling dervish in the mosh pit, you know when the thing is spinning and one person goes down, lots of people are going down.
London Bridge.
Lots of people. You ever see a marathon or a bike race where someone goes down?
Yes. Yo, the bike, listen, if you've ever been in a bike race and fell, I'm not laughing at you.
I am.
I'm just laughing with you because that is gnarly. People are just boom, 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 going down
like
left
a
and right.
70-car pileup, yes.
I would watch highlights of that as long as the people survive for hours.
Well, don't you
days.
think if an offensive lineman goes down on a running back, you have like 6 or 7 of those guys go down, and then suddenly you're at risk of 3 torn ACLs on the spinning huddle play? The most dangerous play in football.
No. The spinning huddle play? Here's what they should do. You should run the spinning huddle play week 1. And if you execute it to perfection, you've earned another trick play. You have to earn them throughout the season. So then when you run the second one, you can earn a third one. But if you screw it up, no more spinning huddle, no more ring around the rosy.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Somebody should tell somebody that knows something about something.
Breaking news, Kasey. Next question. We do get a Coach Andy Reid mention. Cut 3, please. Do you still talk to Coach Reid?
We do. Obviously, this week's different, and when we played him, a while back. But I still listen. I owe a lot to Coach Reid. My career, not only as a player but as a coach, and I still want to pick his brain and learn. He's been doing this a long time, and he's been really, really successful. At it. So anything I can learn and take away from him is a blessing for me.
And I can joke all I want about him mentioning Coach Reid. The reality is he's one of the best of all time.
I would hope he'd mention him in that one when they say, do you still
talk to who?
Who?
Coach Andy Reid, one of the best of all time. So, yes, while it's fortunate for us that the head coach of the Jaguars learned under Andy Reid, it would make sense that they still talk. He still bounces ideas off the guy. Look, I think it's great that Doug still thinks there's lots to learn at 55 years old.
After winning a Super Bowl.
Yes.
You could see that being hey, you know what? I got this thing under control, guys.
It's on
fine.
me now, yes.
But, yeah, and, it does say something also about Andy Reid that he's willing to share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I got a feeling, I could be wrong, if you call up Belichick like, hey, bro, what you got?
Well,
it's like nothing.
Not if they're playing that week, but he's supposedly has good relationships with all these former coaches like Brian Dable and Brian Flores and all these guys. He's texting with them apparently all the time. Vrabel he texts with all the time. At least that's what I read. So, I get it. And anyone who's worked with people and then seen them get promoted or go on to other jobs, maybe you kept in touch with them from an industry standpoint or something like that. I get it. I get it. So, worse coaches to try and emulate. Worse coaches to learn from.
Absolutely.
What about the fact that since the Dallas game, this team has given away the ball in heap loads? Kasey, since the Dallas game, 12 giveaways. I think it was 5 interceptions, maybe 6.
Well, there was definitely 4.
4 in the game against, I understand. But I think there was only 2 others, maybe 1 other. And then the rest were fumbles. In any case, 12 giveaways. That's a lot of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Against a team you don't want to turn the ball over against.
Can't really afford to.
And then you got to wonder, is this a Jaguars problem or is this just bad luck? Trevor is not throwing 4 interceptions every game.
No.
I don't want to jinx him and say he's definitely not doing it this weekend, but it's not. It's an anomaly. It's not normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is it something Doug needs to worry about? Is it something that they're really focusing on and preaching, not just the interceptions, not just the errant pass, but the fumble? We know that Travis Etienne has had some issues holding on to the ball. Trevor's had some issues holding on to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about interceptions. Is that something they have to worry about as they game plan? Cut 4.
Yes, you worry about it. We're fortunate. We're very fortunate. We're very fortunate the other night. That doesn't happen. for five takeaways or 5 giveaways and come back and win a football game. That just does not happen. And that's something that we address our team a lot about. And, I don't want to overemphasize it, but at the same time, they have to understand that the seriousness of keeping the football and the seriousness of creating takeaways. And, our defense has also been, getting the ball a little bit here too. So that's been a bonus for us. But, offensively, we just can't give it away like we've been doing in order to win these games, especially now where we're at.
They really can't. I mean, if you couldn't against the Chargers, and we didn't think you could, and win the game, and I really feel like the fan base should understand how lucky they are to get away with a win there, and I think they do,
Mm-hmm.
you certainly can't do it against the Chiefs.
No.
Even harder would be the order to come back against that team.
Yeah, if not impossible. And I think there were times where the Chargers should have ended up with 6-7 points, but they ended up with 3 instead. Patrick Mahomes ain't ended up with 3. You give Patrick Mahomes a short field, they're getting 7 100% of the time. So although it turned out to be one of the most incredible games in Jags history, you can't put yourself in that position against Kansas City. You got to play with them. You can't really play from behind. They tried it earlier in the year, and they lost by 10.
Yeah.
So you got to play.
And by the way,
with
that
them.
it was even further away than that.
Yeah.
It ended up being 10, but it was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are, man. Jags in the postseason taking on the Chiefs. They beat the Chargers in the wild card weekend. Here we are in the divisional round. A lot of folks who love this organization are extremely excited because no one had this expectation. Before the season started, I think the win total over-under in Vegas was, 5.5, 6, 6.5?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are, 9-10 wins now. No one saw that coming. A lot of people feel like we're playing with house money. Like, even if we lose, even if we get the doors blown off, it's okay. We weren't supposed to be here. Wait till next year. Does Dougie feel that way? I'm not sure that he does. He shouldn't. He's the head coach. But he was asked, has the sentiment hit you that a lot of people feel like this team is playing with house money? Cut 7.
Whether it's our money or house money, we're here. And it's a credit to those players in the locker room and the coaching staff for believing in each other, obviously working hard. What we've done down the stretch, regardless of the mishaps, we're here, I try to block out the best I can with the team. You just block out the noise. You block out the negativity. You block out whether it's lack of respect or whatever. We have a young quarterback, whatever it might be. We're one of 4 in the AFC left. And that says a lot. It says a lot about these guys, and we're excited for the opportunity.
1 of 4, 4 of 16. Not to keep dividing up your numbers, but for those who aren't math magicians out there, the Jaguars are in the top 25% of the AFC.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. In a conference that we knew before the season started was going to dominate.
The stronger conference.
The much stronger conference.
And now you're up there with the Bills and the Chiefs and the Bengals.
With elite level teams.
The teams that are the teams.
The favorites to win the Super Bowls.
If any of those teams were in the Super Bowl or won it, you'd be like, yeah, sounds about right. I get it. And the Jags are right there.
You're right there with them.
With
2 more wins to go.
An opportunity to beat Kansas City.
2 more wins to go, Duval.
That'd be something.
Do you have it in you? Do the Big Cats have it in them? We gonna learn on Saturday.
We gonna learn today. Saturday.
The Brent Friends Show will be back after this break, and the Sports Center. I believe TV's Burt Martin, you're going to join us. We'll find out. Keep you waiting. Bated breath. The edge of your seats. The Brent Friends Show continues. ESPN 690 after this.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Today on Hey Culligan, smooth skin and soft hair comes from where? Here's Mike.
Hey Culligan, I've tried every conditioner, lotion, and body wash known to man, and my skin still feels like sandpaper.
It could be your water, Mike.
Oh, that's harsh.
More like hard water. Are you interested in smart, high-efficiency water softeners from Culligan Water?
Huh?
Want baby smooth skin and soft, luxurious hair?
Yeah, can you hurry? I have a date tonight.
We're already on the way, Mike. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test from a local Culligan Water expert at Culligan.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can find options that fit your budget, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, like when I hold the door for someone. Sure, it may be weird if I don't time it right, and they're a little too far away, and now they're running. And we're both asking ourselves, is it worth it to run instead of just, letting them open their own door?
But still, it's the right thing to do. So get options based on your needs with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Kim Simon with Yoga for Change. Thank you to the players for supporting our mission of addressing the mental and physical health of veterans, youth, individuals who are incarcerated, and those living with mental health conditions through the practice of yoga. 49 days to go.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready to hit the open road and see America? Island Oaks, located just west of Jacksonville, Florida, is the perfect place to set up camp. With lakeside lots, swimming, fishing, dining, ball courts, live music, events, and new activities daily. There's something for everyone here. Call or text 904-906-6779 or visit islandoaksrv.info for weekly specials. Come solo for lasting memories or bring the family and friends for a fun-filled vacation. No RV? No problem. Island Oaks now offers lots equipped with ready-to-stay RVs in a variety of sizes to fit your vacation needs. No matter what you choose, you're sure to have a great time at Island Oaks RV Resort. Book your stay today. Call or text 904-906-6779 or visit islandoaksrv.info for weekly specials.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
Blackwater Soul Review returns to the St. Augustine Amphitheater in April, featuring J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, Lucas Nelson and the Promise of Real, Robert Cray Band, and Jackie Venson. Blackwater Soul Review, April 14th and 15th with J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Fields Auto Group is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and buying or leasing a luxury car on the First Coast is easy with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, and where my wife leases her car from Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, no problem. Fields Auto Group will order it and at a fair price. So stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. FieldsAuto.com.
What's up? It's Kasey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, wherever you get your podcast.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Quarterback Tom Brady plans to take his time before deciding what's next for him. Following the Buccaneers' NFC wildcard loss to the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, Brady told reporters there's no timetable for a decision on his future. He can't be franchise tagged and will become an unrestricted free agent unless the Bucs are able to re-sign him. Brady does have enough in the tank to come back for a 24th NFL season, believes ESPN's Herm Edwards.
He still has enough arm talent to play. But the surrounding pieces around him are going to have to be really good for him to have success, right? Because that's where he's at in his career. He's 45 years old. I mean, he's phenomenal. He's the best quarterback ever played the position. There's no doubt about that.
Herm Edwards on First Take. As expected, changes made by the Chargers. Offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi and quarterbacks coach Shane Day were fired. The fallout a couple of days after the Chargers coughed up a 27-point lead in Saturday night's AFC wildcard loss in Jacksonville. In addition, LA's offense consistently underperformed this past season, especially in the running game and red zone, even though they had quarterback Justin Herbert.
We all know the game isn't over till it's over. So next time your car breaks down, don't call it quits. Head to eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts to take your car into overtime. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know that you have the power to positively impact a local child's life? It's as easy as donating to Daniel, Florida's oldest child service agency. Daniel provides counseling to abused children. Daniel helps homeless teens find shelter and learn to live independently. Daniel connects kids with foster families and strengthens at-risk families so they can stay together. They've done all this and more for 135 years. Please become a part of improving the lives of local children and families by donating at danielkids.org today.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
That in Friends stuff is over with.
You sound like every listener.
Not true.
Not true.
What'd you do to my headphones over here, Kurtz?
So here's the deal. You don't have to pick up the whole thing, dog. That quarter inch sucks. So I switched it out with mine.
All right.
And gave you the crappy one, naturally.
I can sense that.
So do you want the good one back?
As I'm crackling in my ear, though.
If you got to quit, I'll give you one.
It's fine. I'm
now,
good.
here's the thing. That's actually the quarter inch that you have been using for probably, a couple years. So it's old and worn out. I have the new ones that Aaron bought.
Ah, look at that.
But I had left my good one over there a little bit ago, so you had been using my good one, reaping the rewards of a good quarter inch.
How much do these cost, Aaron?
It's like $5 for a pack of 10.
$5 for 10.
It's like double Kasey's yearly income.
That is literally 33% of what
He
I
would
make
charge
now.
me for that.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
speaking of, I know I was thinking of you. I gotta get you Venmo your Sharpies or something.
You owe me all kinds of money.
All kinds of money. We need to start like keeping the big board. You know, like some people take donations to a big tote board. We need to keep the Brent in debt to Kasey board.
Yeah, he wants to go to the Super Bowl though. I might be pulling from that debt.
Thanks, dog. Appreciate you, G.
How much are we all going to the Super Bowl if the Jags go to the Super Bowl?
I told
Or is
my
it
wife
just still
expect
you and
I'd be
me?
gone for a couple of days.
All right.
I don't know if she's going to acknowledge I said it, but I said it.
We'll be there.
Who's going to Kansas City? You see a lot of people going? We have a lot of Jags fans going?
You know what?
I've seen a good amount of people.
I haven't. The people I thought who were going to go aren't. Like, I've been following along ever since the viral
Pedro?
PowerPoint Pedro. And it turns out
Yeah, I don't think he can go.
He's got some personal stuff going on. But he's sending the blankie.
He is. I saw that. He said it with Bold City Cap and some others, I think it was.
I've seen some people, though. You know, they're going. But listen, I'm going to tell you what. If you're flying from Jacksonville to Kansas City,
ain't easy.
I ain't going to say nothing about your finances, but you built different. You are built different than I am.
I just talked to Dan Arnold about it. He's like, yeah, it's $1,700.
Yeah. So,
and now I don't
Brent's
know
going
what
to talk
airline
about
he
your
was-
finances, though.
I'm not sure what airline he was on because, I mean, you could get them cheaper than that, but they are pretty pricey.
They are. I tried to do it. But then I said, I work here.
And, the other thing is, like, you go out of Orlando, like, we'll look at Orlando a lot of times.
Yeah, it's cheaper out of there most of the time.
Most of the time, but it's not that cheap. And also, it's just, Kansas City's airport must suck.
It's a small airport.
It's also in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it's only like, 20 minutes from the stadium?
Well, you're
Is
flying
it
into
in
Kansas or Missouri?
I'm talking about Kansas City as the city is in the middle of nowhere.
Oh. Well, but you would think, like, it's in the middle of the country, so therefore the airport would be
like a hub.
Like Indianapolis is decent airport because it's right in the middle of the country. Columbus, right in the middle of the country. I think, Kansas City would feel that way.
Yeah.
But maybe St. Louis plays that or acts
Yeah,
that way.
St. Louis is a big airport hub,
St.
too.
Louis, their airport's like actually called like Middle America or something.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Kansas City, Kansas City's a cool town, but
Loved
airport.
Loved it.
So.
Great barbecue, decent bars.
Any stories about barbecue? Kind of like the cheese curds?
No squeaky cheese, no.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to the cheese curd story.
It was a true story.
Barbecue in Kansas City is supposed to be unbelievable. Barbecue in a lot of places is unbelievable. Like, I don't get that hyped up on barbecue to be like, I got to go. I've had it in Kansas City.
Yeah, and
but I'm
like the
just not
barbecue here is delicious.
I love it here.
So as someone who didn't grow up in Kansas City, I'm like, I think Jacksonville barbecue is pretty good also.
Kasey, you a barbecue guy?
Oh, Brent, I'm fat. Come on.
You know, growing up for me, though, I thought barbecue was hot dogs and burgers. I didn't realize it was like a genre of food.
You've said it before, by the way.
Me?
No, Brent.
Oh.
Sorry. I was continuing a conversation that was over.
That's actually kind of funny, you know. That's
That's
kind of
what
what
it
it
was
was.
for me.
You're right. It's like grilling out.
It's
right?
like, hey, you want to have barbecue? Yeah, I could go for a hot dog. And like here,
Have
if you
some
say that, you
macaroni
get like
salad.
smacked or something. You get thrown out of the establishment you're in.
There is some truth to that.
Yeah.
And I like barbecue, like because I like just about any food.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I've had good barbecue in Nashville.
Yes.
And I've had it's good barbecue in Kansas City.
It's great.
But I
yeah.
just don't know. Like I was like, whoa, I can't wait to go back. I know the places. Like there's a couple of them that you go to.
Jack
and you're
Stack
supposed
is the
to
big
go
famous
to,
one.
right?
Yeah.
But last time I went to Kansas City, I didn't go barbecue. Went to somewhere else.
Austin's got good barbecue too.
Oh, I would imagine. Right?
When I went to Austin for
Who
a work
doesn't
thing,
have good barbecue?
Austin? Oh.
Have you ever had bad barbecue?
Yes.
What's bad barbecue?
Columbus, Indiana.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't eat
raccoon
barbecue in
isn't supposed
Columbus.
to be made
Yeah.
into barbecue.
Don't eat barbecue in Indiana.
A little roadkill from the
That's
back
the
of the
advice
store.
I could give you.
They're cooking up squirrel with burnt ends.
It's truly. It's mid.
Yeah, Austin was good barbecue, but I ended up also going to Vince Young's Steakhouse, VY. That was a good steak.
Was
Like the Vince Young?
Man can't pass a Wonderlick, but he could certainly cook a steak, man. Woo. Good stuff.
Why did why did you have to take a shot at him for no reason?
The shot's facts.
Like, I get it, but like, there's no reason.
Look, I'm a journalist.
Are you?
He scored like a historic low score on the Wonderlic. What do you want me to do? I can't change it.
I get it. I just appreciate it.
This isn't the college admissions scandal. We're not cheating on the Wonderlic for the guy. This is what he did. Look, they put it on tape. He put it on paper. What do you want me to do?
I get it, but it just came out of nowhere off the top rope. Like,
Just
you were just
saying.
talking about his steakhouse.
When
By
you
the
think
way, he's
Vince
an
Young,
idiot. That's like
when
how
you
that
think
went.
Vince Young, you think crying and you think Wonderlicked. That's what I think.
No, I don't think either
And
of
you
those.
think good steakhouse.
And, well, good steakhouse now. That's what
Some of us
I
think.
associate that with. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never been to Austin, Texas.
I
and I'd
cried
like
at
to
the
go.
steakhouse. It was delicious.
You just did something there that I actually did last night spontaneously.
What's that?
And then I kind of felt bad about it. I said when what's his name couldn't make a kick.
Oh, Maher.
I was like, Chuck Knobloch is now kicking for the Dallas Cowboys.
Chuck Knobloch.
I saw your tweet.
I sent you a text not too long ago. Mackie Sasser was another one of those guys.
But
They get the
everybody-
yips.
Steve Sachs, Mackie Sasser, but Chuck Knobloch to me is like the poster child for that.
Big time.
Don't you remember? And everybody,
ruined a
some
career,
people are
yeah.
coming back with other guys, and I was like, yeah, I've heard of those guys too. Like I know Steve Sachs had it, but Knobloch is like, to me, maybe it was just in my wheelhouse of growing up. Whenever that was that I remember, like he could not throw it from second base to first base. It was
Shortest
wild.
throw, yeah.
After being an all-star at the position.
That has to be a terrifying feeling.
Oh, it's going to be awful. Well, listen, I mean, if anybody's played golf, I had the Shanks for a year and a half.
Yeah, but you're
But doesn't
not.
it feel like you're like, I understand there are guys out there who can be very accurate with the golf club, but throwing a baseball 30 feet and hitting a golf ball
It does feel a little bit
250
different.
feet is a little bit
Yeah,
different.
but like if you've hit the golf ball all right, like I mean, I was like let's see, at the time when I came down here, probably like an 8-9 handicap guy. So I'm shooting in the low 80s, and I could not hit it. The ball went that way every time I swung, and it was like you
Dave
can't
Campo
figure out.
watching you play golf, holding his head like, oh.
And you know what happens when you do that? You just keep hitting more balls and trying to get it, and all you do is make it worse.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to get out of it. And so I'll never forget. I'll tell you a story about that real quick. We do this, the Players' Championship. I think they're still doing it, but they have the shootout for charity. And so I have the Shanks in the golf game. Seriously, it was like a year and a half. It was awful. And so, but we get invited to
it's a long time.
The par 3 shootout for charity.
He's like a
And it was
sports
the first
therapist
year
or
of it.
something.
And I don't even know why I got invited, but I mean, like Brunell's there, Scobie's there,
Martineau's
Jackson
there.
DeVille's
He's like, I got
there.
no business
They
being
must have
here.
had somebody cancel, right? I mean, because it was like 10 years ago now.
Who's probably going to check the Twitter DM? Martineau.
Brent was like the Skylar Thompson of the celebrity golf tournament.
I was. And so anyway, but I know Scobie, right? And we'd probably actually even played golf by that time. And so we're warming up on the range, and I've got the Shanks. And so hosel rocket right over to the left. And Scobie's like, whoa. Like, he doesn't like just look over or something. He like makes this audible sound
Yeah,
like,
he wants everyone
oh,
to know.
you're in trouble. Like he knew it. He knows enough about golf.
That's funny.
And so we're warming up. I'm like, what am I? I'm not even warming up. So we go up. And now this is like a nervous thing. There's people.
Yeah, you don't want to be embarrassed.
No, there's people. There's TV, like our TV cameras are there. All this stuff.
Yeah.
And you get 2 shots. And I did not shake it.
Oh.
I actually got this is like the luckiest day of my life. Hit the green on one of the shots. I can't remember which one. And finished second place. Brunel won.
Look at you delivering
and I
under
finished
pressure.
second place. And I have no idea. But I was so scared that I was about there are people that are lined up.
Yeah.
Like where my shot was going, like I could have hit them. No
You're
problem.
Like, do you want to hand out helmets before I go?
Got any of those head mitts laying around?
You're like, head mitt was a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was shaking. So I could feel for that guy a little bit, but I thought of Chuck Knobloch to really go full circle with this story. Like you just called out Vince Young's Wonderlic like it was no problem just because you had a nice steak in
It'll
his
be in my
restaurant.
head for
and
the
I
rest of
felt
my
the
life.
same way about Knobloch last night. I was like, poor guy, man. I mean, guy had a good career too. Guy's
Yeah,
a good
great
ball
career.
player.
Good player.
And that's what I remember about him.
Yeah, it's tough.
He was an all-star.
Like, here's the thing. I didn't want the ball hit to me when I played baseball, mostly because I didn't want to do anything, right? It had nothing to do with actually throwing it. That was actually my favorite part. If I could field it, I was going to make a good throw. But, like, that's got to be terrifying. You're standing out there like, please don't hit it to me. The kicker yesterday is probably like, please don't score. Please
Yeah.
don't score
Oh,
again.
he got to that point.
But
I think
also, don't get for a field goal either. Like, strictly punts.
Is
Like,
the-
I can't go out there.
Is the Gallup shot a meme somewhere?
Yeah, big time.
Is it?
Yes.
Because I didn't look if it was, but I rewound it 4 times and showed like the whole family. I was like, Steph, come check this out. Kaylee, come watch this. No, you didn't see it close enough. Look at his face.
Just basking in the failure of this poor dude.
His face is terrific in that. And at least he made one.
At least he did the bare minimum.
What are they going to do? What did you get? I mean,
He'll be fine.
McCarthy says they want to keep him on.
He's made like multiple 60s this year, I'm pretty sure.
No, he's a good kicker.
Yeah.
You keep him.
Well, he says he wants to. He didn't say that it's locked in.
He's going to go to practice and see if that guy can make him.
He goes, we really want to keep him on board. He's been great for us this year, is I think.
He has been. Like, he's a good kicker. But I would be, it was Dallas and Tony Romo messed up the hold, remember?
Yes.
If they lose this game because of this guy's got the shanks.
Yeah.
That's
my thing, though. Can you be like, the next game, I get that. But, like, you're blowing out Tampa. Like, could they really have been that mad at him?
Well, no, I tweeted, I was like, this only can happen in Dallas. They are actually putting on a show, and the headline's going to be the kicker missed 3 extra points.
4.
Or 4 extra points. Sorry, that's right, 4.
1 for 5.
And, I mean, but that's such a Dallas thing, right?
Very much so.
I was probably the headline more than they beat Tom Brady and sent him into retirement, perhaps.
Yeah.
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 Funny game.
I just,
poor guy.
I don't know if you're McCarthy, how you trust this guy moving forward. Practice or not.
Speaking of trust, guys, Trevor Lawrence talked today about the Waffle House menu and everything else.
Oh, cool.
But he confirms again, because there was this story going around that he did it again at the goal line. He called his own number.
On
the sneak, on the 2-point conversion.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that what we're talking about big-time plays here.
Yeah.
And you see something, I guess, from the quarterback perspective. That's pretty wild.
No, it
now.
still takes a lot of moxie, a lot of what we used to call chutzpah.
That is.
I don't know if I'm co-signing it this time.
Really?
I mean, that was the season.
Man believes in himself.
I don't know, man.
Highest percentage short yardage play when you need a yard? You go quarterback.
I don't know. I have no idea how to feel about that, to be honest with you. Thank goodness it worked.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to see. I think this is a big story now because he did it in Nashville on the play that he stiff arms the guy and he gets in the end zone. Now, who knows how many more times he's done this? Maybe more.
Yep.
Maybe it's more of a common thing.
You got to imagine that these weren't the first 2 times.
And the pull-it one is definitely more risky than the QB sneak. Like, I mean, Doug played quarterback. If you see a hole, and by the way, it was easy.
Into it, yeah.
Like, it was easy. So he made the right call and he knew it. So if you see it, go for it.
Look, Tom Brady's made a career on diving into the or under the pile.
And I'm sure it wasn't always like a call. Maybe it's something he saw and nobody lined up and said, all right, we're going here. Like, maybe. I don't know. But maybe this happens more often. But we're talking about Trevor Lawrence's development a lot this year, right? And his confidence and being able to shake off the 4 picks and come back and do what he did. And to me, this just speaks volumes about who the Jags have at quarterback as their franchise QB. It does show that moxie, that he's got confidence in his abilities. That's a Super Bowl winning coach on the sideline, and you're a second-year player that really, you've done some things in the second half of the year, but until then, you really hadn't done much at all.
Yeah. And you're like, no
by
thanks,
NFL
bro.
standards.
I've got the play.
Yes. Like, I think there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot that shows, like, again, this is a guy that not everybody, some people suggested after that London game, this doesn't have the dog in him, man. That huddle video doesn't have the dog in him. Doesn't have the dog in him. Jags fans, even some, said it. They didn't think he did.
Yep.
Now you're seeing a guy call his own number. Now you're seeing a guy point to scoreboards and fight Tennessee Titans at the end of a game. Now you're seeing a guy come back from 4 picks to throw 4 touchdowns and win you a playoff game. Let's never ask about the dog and Trevor Lawrence anymore.
You might get bit.
I mean, so I think these things are bigger and magnified in these moments. And we'll play some of the press conference later or throughout the week, of course. But there's another part of this news conference today with him that I think is really cool bit too. He was talking about the 4th and 1 play. And in the huddle, he's like, listen, this is our season. We make this play, we win the game on the 4th and 1. That was his message to the team. Yeah, straight out of like a movie. And by the way, I think a lot of quarterbacks probably know that, say that. There's a message in there. What I wonder is how much do they deliver the message and it doesn't come true. But I think what his point was, he rallied. I always ask that question, not always, but young players, I often ask the guys like the offensive lineman, how's he in the huddle, And most guys, they always say the same thing about. But to me, that gives just an inside look at the huddle to say he knew the importance of the play, first of all, because he knew where it was at, and he knew the moment we were in here in Jacksonville. He also had that just thought, at least had the, this sixth sense, if you will, to remind them how important it was. Like, that's leadership, right? That's what he's there for. He's the guy barking out the signals. And then also to say, if we make this play, even if we get the 4 inches, we're winning the football game. Like, he wasn't like, hey, we keep our season alive. No, we're winning the football game.
Yeah.
And he actually spoke it into existence because obviously ETN takes it 16 yards down the field, whatever it was. But they weren't in this wasn't like at the 30-yard line you were going to kick it. I mean, I think there's a lot in there. Like, I think these little moments now, these magnified spots, that might have been there, heck, in week 3 and 4, and we don't even know about it. I think are teaching us a lot about Trevor Lawrence, the player, the confidence, the franchise QB, the CEO of the organization, because that's what you ask the franchise quarterback to be. And I don't sleep on these sound bites as just like fun little things to listen to. I think there's a lot in these little sound bites here, just even today, that's coming out on the QB sneak and the 4th and 1 that tell me a lot about Trevor Lawrence if you don't know him already.
So as an outsider looking in, it feels like this team really does trust in this man, in Trevor Lawrence. I guess my question to you is, do you think it would have been as easy to earn the trust, to win over these guys as a second-year guy at 23 years old, talking to men at 32 years old or 30 years old, if they had all been on this team for a while before Trevor got there? Or do you think it's easier because everyone was new to the franchise? It's not just that the rookie kid or the young kid is new, but we're all new, so it's easier to be led by this guy. Or do you think that has nothing to do with it? I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of some veteran who's 33 years old listening to this 23-year-old child tell me what's going to happen and then deliver. Like, he earns it.
I do. I think that's a good call, and I wonder about that sometimes too, right? I think it's a little hard in like our world.
Like, could Kasey tell you how it's going to be, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm right behind you.
Yeah, Brent, answer.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question. That was where I was going with it. Like, in our workplace, would we do that with somebody 10 years younger, hasn't been in the business?
20 years, but yeah.
Dude, I put every person under 27 on the pay no mind list. You ain't talking to me.
Yeah, and that's problematic for you too. But I think
this is I'm trying to grow a nice, warm, toxic work environment.
But first of all, I think even in the workplace, I think if you care about the product and not really just about yourself, right? And I think a lot of people in our line of work do care about the product.
Of course, yeah.
Management sometimes even takes advantage of that. But so
now you spitting.
I'm a bad influence.
Now you spitting facts.
Just across the board in our industry, by the way, that is. And
that's what I meant.
Really, in most industries,
and probably in most industries, but I can just tell you about ours. So I don't think I think at first you might be like, yeah, whatever, but when they deliver,
he's earned
like
it.
If Kasey's delivering, well then, yeah, man, I want more input. All right, give it to me again. You've earned some trust there. I like the input. I don't want to be the guy doing everything and making the decisions.
Right.
Yeah, I want that. I need it. And from the quarterback position, like, these guys really relish having that quarterback be the leader. Like, that's just the way they're brought up in football.
It really is like the way you want to be led on that team.
It is. Like, you want that guy. And if you've got that guy, you think you have a chance. And so I'm going to add one more element to it. I think in our world, or your industry, if you're listening, whatever that is, if you have a young pup who's got a ton of talent, you're actually more scared of that guy, potentially, that,
like overtaking
my job.
you? Yeah.
But that's not the case here.
You could full stop.
And
period.
Well, there's also those guys they don't have to worry about that. The Brandon Sheriffs of the world, he plays line.
Right.
He doesn't play quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So he plays a totally different position. And then the other element to that is when those guys see somebody who's got skill set and talent like Trevor, they want to wrap that up, bubble it up, ride with that, because, again, you know what they know? They know if they win and they play well, they probably make more money.
And are happier, feel more fulfilled, work is more satisfying. That's the thing. Like, I can talk a lot of silliness on the radio, but if a 25-year-old works here and they're showing me they're extremely talented, really good at what they do, like, I want to work with that person.
Absolutely.
I want to learn from this person.
So, like, in Kasey's instance, like, if he could really sell, Like,
so what?
Then we
exactly.
Yeah. So like he could make us more money.
Yeah.
Like then we'd be on board.
Cool.
Right. But the line and the receivers and everybody else are looking at Trevor like, you could make me more money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to look at it selfishly, I'm not saying
you can make me more
do
money, more championships. You can make me more legacy. All of it.
All of that. Right. And it's hard to do when you have Tyler Huntley.
There it is.
Playing quarterback. Right. It's just not the same guy.
Right.
So I think it's a good question. And I wonder about it a lot, like that young mix. That's why I say I do think people say football is the ultimate team game. And I understand what they say about that. I actually think there's not enough talk about the locker room dynamic in the NFL. Like college, you don't have that. College, you have it a little bit. You got a senior, and especially now you got like COVID 24-year-old guy with a 19-year-old kid or 18-year-old. But still, that's somewhat. I mean, they're both ending up at the same parties on campus. You know, you have a chance to have a 33-year-old guy in the locker room in the NFL who's got 5 kids.
Yeah, he's
right?
not out running a Waffle House at 3 in the morning.
And you got your quarterback, to your point, that's 23, and it might not be like where Trevor is in his life. It might be more like where Zach Wilson is in his life. So I think those dynamics are really, really interesting and probably not talked about enough. But my point of this is this kid's got all that, and we already knew he had the talent. Now he's got the confidence in that moment to make those decisions.
He's grown that pedigree, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and now Doug probably gives him a little more trust. Hey, I like what you saw there. But Doug is also the guy who'd be like, it better work. You know, I mean, he kind of says it better work if you're going to do that. And it seems like Trevor's made 2 huge plays this year that have worked when he's decided to do that. Yeah, at a minimum. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690. Kasey Kurtz will try to go sell a spot or two.
Bro, I'm just trying to figure out who I am in this analogy.
Yeah,
for a minute, I thought I knew.
Yeah, you thought you were freaking Trevor Lawrence for a minute.
I did.
And I had to bring you back down.
Right
but now I'm thinking of Zach Wilson. And I'm like, why should I just walk out of work? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where I fit in here.
Amanda's calling the lawyer.
Aren't we all? We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly clear skies turn partly cloudy overnight. Some fog develops inland. Morning lows dipping down into the lower to mid-50s. On your Wednesday, turning mostly sunny and warm. Highs make it into the mid to upper 70s on Wednesday afternoon. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Beedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Fall is finally here, and hopefully so are milder temperatures. But don't wait to insulate your home. Take advantage of 20% savings off our summer rates and start saving on those utility bills now and all those hot summers to come.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
Founded in Jacksonville, Florida in 2016, Marie Barney Boston Scholarship Foundation has awarded scholarships to high school seniors, vocational, and current college students. We believe that every student should have the chance to pursue higher education and become future leaders. Visit mariebbsf.org to see this year's recipients and to donate. Help develop future leaders now. Go to mariebbsf.org. mariebbsf.org. That's mariebbsf.org.
Fields Auto Group is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and buying or leasing a luxury car on the First Coast is easy with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, and where my wife leases her car from Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, no problem. Fields Auto Group will order it and at a fair price. So stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. FieldsAuto.com.
Blackwater Soul Review returns to the St. Augustine Amphitheater in April, featuring J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, Lucas Nelson and the Promise of Real, Robert Cray Band, and Jackie Venson.
Brighter day, where did they
Blackwater Soul Review, April 14th and 15th with JJ Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crows, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage. All at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 24-month zero-interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Oh, that Jags locker room was raucous.
Thank you, Arden Key.
Raucous is like... I feel like a word my grandmother used to always say.
Probably.
Well, ruckus is different than a raucous.
Raucous?
Raucous. R-A-U and R-U. A ruckus, I think, is describing that there is a loud noise happening. A raucous environment is something a little bit different. Let me get the exact definition for you, buddy.
You do that.
Who the hell is this guy? Certainly not Vince Young.
So raucous is an adjective.
Common theme of the show.
Hoarse, harsh, rough, grating, and husky as a sound. But like a ruckus is something different, I think.
How do you spell the two?
Ruckus is R-U-C-K-U-S.
Makes sense.
Which one should I have said?
I thought a raucous atmosphere instead of a ruckus, but a ruckus is a disturbance or a commotion. So someone causes a ruckus with a raucous atmosphere. I still don't know what you should have said.
If we haven't confused you yet, we are an educational program here on Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
I went to Kingsborough Community College, so you can't tell me nothing. It took me 6 years to get my bachelor's, so I have lots of college experience.
I just like how you caught that. Like, I would never catch that.
Yeah, you know what, though? A lot of people think people who harp on grammar are jerks.
Yes.
So, here I am.
No, actually, I don't mind it. And I catch stuff, too. There's certain things that bother, like our ears.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of the old grammar police on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because you're typing and it's auto-correcting. And
because you do it a lot.
I know.
Well, I also feel like anyone who's going to attack you.
People are way better at it now. They used to be awful. It's like, shut up, dude.
With all that they attack you for on Twitter, I would think like grammar would be a nice reprieve from the norm.
Brent, you're an idiot. You also spelled there wrong.
Yes. And I hate when it happens. Like, I'll go back and see it, especially on the show. I'll go back and see it, a tweet. I'm like, oh, shoot, I spelled that wrong. And that makes no sense. Nobody said anything. And I'm so proud of Twitter when nobody says anything because I'm like, all right, you get it. Like, you get it. Like,
or they just missed it.
Well, they might.
I see your profile picture. They just keep scrolling. They're like,
By the way, Glenn C. chipping in here. He goes, your ruckus turned into a fracas. And then YB is just like, hey, just say it was lit.
You say it was very good point.
Thank you, YB.
YB, that's a good point, man. That was the best advice yet. I was just giving a shout out to my grandmother with the ruckus or raucous, whatever.
Yeah.
Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. It was lit in the locker room is what I'm trying to say.
Litty.
And it's you could feel it. You know?
Yeah,
you just feel their energy. You feel the vibe.
And I thought it was pretty cool today in the locker room because guys would still go back and they're still smiling and relishing that Saturday. They've decompressed from it, and I have no thoughts that they are, like, still hungover from it. But they'll acknowledge it, like, yeah, that was out of the norm. A lot of the guys in the locker room said today that they usually will go back and watch the film, on their iPad or something like that. Well, they said they went back and watched like 2 or 3 times. And a lot of them don't usually watch the TV copy. And they went back and watched the TV copy.
They wanted to really bathe in this.
And Christian Kirk was really good about it because he said, when I went back and watched like the TV copy too, it's like, it said 27-0, and I was like, wow, it was 27-0.
Yeah, I guess that does really bring it home for you.
Yeah.
To see it right in front of you like that.
Yeah, I think that's when it registered. And some of them said even, it might take until the offseason to fully appreciate kind of what they did. And I get that. They're kind of locked into the next thing. Walker Little told me, he said, it's not that easy to flip. It's not that hard to flip the script right now because the next game you're playing is the most important. There's a lot at stake.
Yeah.
So the stakes actually force you. And I would think Kansas City in this instance force them to pay attention to detail because they know they're so good. A lot of times you don't want to give teams flowers. You really don't as a competitor. We're better than them or they're. Kansas City is so good in kind of a New England kind of way where people are acknowledged.
Yeah.
Like it's common knowledge. It's fact. Like they are really good.
Really good.
Like if you were playing Buffalo, you'd say, yeah, they're talented, they're dangerous, they're all this. But it's okay to ask a question to these guys and be like you can't make a lot of mistakes. Like they are that good. And they're like, yeah, they are that good.
Yeah.
There's no secrets about it. So it's an interesting week.
Do you think that had the Jags had Baltimore or Miami this week, that they would run the risk of that hangover from the Chargers game?
It's a great question, I think, but I still wish they had them.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't you love to find out for real?
Yeah, but I think it's a really good question.
Also,
and
do
I
you
think that's very plausible.
Do you think there will be a member of the media this week who will criticize the team for being too happy about last week's win?
No, that's what I was trying to guard against in this conversation. I'm just trying to give you perspective of the line of questioning that's still going on. Remember, now we didn't talk to these guys Sunday or Monday.
Right.
So you're still kind of trying to get the Saturday was so big, so monumental, that you're still in that mode a little bit. I know we're doing TV shows tonight, and you still want to kind of talk about that, and you almost have to talk about where you've been to get to where you're going. And these guys have been very good at that. Some people want to shut that out and shut that down. And I think by Wednesday, which would normally be their availability, they probably wouldn't be as open to talking about it. But because these games have been on Saturday, it was really just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
They're closer to that one than they are to the next one coming up. But my curiosity is about the mentality of this football team. Not that if they can handle anything, but just this switch. They have gone from a Cinderella story to now 2 games away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we asked this question for the last week and a half, really. We say it just about every day on the show. Are the Jaguars good? Well, I think the answer is crystal clear. They are good because they're one of the 8 teams left. There's
one
no,
of the 4 in the AFC.
Fake team in the last 8. None. The Giants are good. Now, the Giants and the Jags have some of the longest odds to make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl.
Well, just because you're good doesn't mean you're better than everybody else.
Well, that's the problem. There's too many damn good teams. Like, those teams are damn good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, elite. The Jags aren't elite. The Jags are good, but the Jags aren't elite.
Yeah.
Kansas City is an elite team.
Yes. Cincinnati can be an elite team.
I think
They have
Buffalo
an elite
can be an
offense.
elite team.
Buffalo can be an elite team.
They've shown the ability. Philadelphia is elite. San Francisco's elite. Dallas, I'm not sure is elite.
I mean, they
because
played
they
like it
haven't
last
proven it.
night.
I know, but they haven't proven it. The other teams have kind of been there all the whole time and consistently. And the Giants aren't elite, and I don't think the Jags are elite. I think that's a fair characterization. Some would argue that the Dallas Cowboys are elite, but not the way they played the last 2 months. The defense wasn't good enough to be considered elite, in my opinion.
Some people are trying to cut the Eagles down like they're not elite.
Well, the Eagles, people have gone to sleep on the Eagles, Kasey, because of the last 3 weeks of this year, right? I mean, we've forgotten that they were really, really better than everybody else.
All
and
year.
San Francisco is making us kind of forget that they were better than everybody else.
Well, I'll tell you this. If you're sleeping on the Eagles, you're going to be like me through all these damn morning shows and my alarm goes off. Waking up when they start playing football because you're going to remember them. Eagles are good.
And coming to town, March 25th, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena.
You're a bum. I don't think they're as good as San Francisco, but, you know.
San Francisco is legit.
San Francisco's
elite.
now the betting favorite to win.
Oh, yeah.
They should be.
That is a nasty team.
You can't score on them.
Okay, but okay.
And you can't stop them from scoring.
So the
Brock
Eagles and
Purdy.
San Fran play each other. I know you're a big Purdy fan, but in that game, Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate, and you got a kid playing his 7th game or 6th game, whatever it is.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts better quarterback in that game, no doubt.
Yeah, and so, not that, I mean, Purdy's been, who'd they just beat?
Seattle.
Yeah, so, like, it's not the same, right?
He also didn't have a great game, even though
like,
Kasey
even if they
wasn't.
played Dak, like, Dak can be
330 and
inconsistent.
3 is not a great game.
18 for 30 is not a great game.
Really, in the NFC, the only quarterback mismatch, you would say, from a Purdy standpoint, is probably Jalen Hurts based on credentials.
Yes.
Right?
Jalen Hurts is a significantly better player.
Yeah, and based on resume.
And Daniel Jones has not proven that to be
You would
true.
say Dak and
because I
Purdy
think
are a
Dak's
mismatch?
shown too much inconsistency. I feel like
there's too much inconsistency.
This
Like
year,
Brock
okay.
Purdy's been
He's
more
turning the ball
consistent since he
over a
came in than Dak has this year.
So I think I guess what I'm getting. I mean, we've turned this into the Eagles and the Niners, but I
What it
think
will
people
be.
sleep on the Eagles. You know, the other team they've slept on a lot of this year is really Kansas City. Like, Kansas City hasn't gotten the headlines because they're a stale headline.
Yeah, very
It's the same
quietly,
story.
14 wins. Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
14 wins.
And quietly, which is weird.
And they lost one of the best wide receivers and the most dangerous maybe wide receiver in the game and ended up with the most prolific offense in the NFL without him.
And didn't it feel like we were looking for excuses all year long to say that their time had passed? And it just hasn't. It just hasn't. We were like, oh, the Bills look unbeatable. Oh, the Bengals are getting hot.
But, like, in your context, too, Kasey, like you say San Francisco, I get it. Philadelphia, I'll take Kansas City over both of them. Like, if you're giving me a team to ride with, you know, whether it was a month ago or something like that, like, I would take them over those teams that are amongst the favorites. That's what I'm getting at. Not this week. I'm gonna pick
Kansas
the
City,
Jags to
San
upset 'em.
Francisco would be a tough one for me to pick Kansas City, but I don't know that I could pick San Francisco. That's a tough game.
Yeah, I'm leaning San Francisco. I just think that defense is too good. Now, I will say, as every game that goes on, the question is, can Brock Purdy handle it? He handled it last week. He didn't start well. He bounced back. 330 and 3. That's good for most, not good enough for Aaron Schachter. But as it continues to go on, does he keep having these performances in the NFC Championship if they get there? If the Super Bowl, can he handle himself? That'll be the question. But I think just the defense that they're running out there, I think they can stop anybody, including Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't watch San Francisco enough to know, like, how would they handle Kelsey, you know? I mean, but can anybody slow down Mahomes? I mean, yes is the answer.
Mahomes has to have a bad day, and it's not like defenses do that to him. He does that.
He kind of does it. Yeah,
Yeah.
be a little off. And to be the team that right now is the kryptonite is Cincinnati. I mean, they're really the kryptonite to KC. They're not afraid of them. They beat them. They know how to beat them.
I actually wonder if Cincinnati is a worse matchup for San Francisco than Kansas City.
Oh my gosh, that offensive line though against San Francisco's D line, I just can't.
That's the part that I wonder about. But I think when you look at the talent on the outside, San Francisco is Cincinnati is leaps and bounds above Kansas City, because at least with KC, you're like, I'm taking away Kelsey, and these other guys might beat us. But with our corners, I don't think so. I think if you put Cincinnati there, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins can beat San Francisco's corners, but does Burrow have enough time? Unlikely.
You know what's wild? Like San Francisco, I just haven't seen a ton of them because we're on Sundays. We're watching the Jags, and I don't even think they've played in prime time much. Maybe once this year, if they did.
Have they?
But their secondary, to your point, Kasey, is as good as their defense is. The place you can beat them is in their secondary.
Right.
If I've read things correctly.
Right. That's why and Cincinnati has Kansas City's number, so I think that's a better matchup. But then you got to beat Buffalo, who Buffalo could also be a problem for them because the same deal, the wide receivers.
I just want to throw out this Mahomes stat because we were talking about Mahomes, whether the defense can make him lose or he makes himself lose. I saw this today. Man, all right. So this article is just telling you blitzing is not the answer with Mahomes. He's one of the most efficient passers in NFL history against the blitz. When operating from a clean pocket, though, he leads the NFL in quarterback rating 118.2, PFF grade of 94.2, completion rate of 75.6, passing touchdowns 29. Like, you can't blitz, you can't zone, you can't man, you can't press, you can't cover. You
just don't show up.
You just got to hope he misses.
You kind of do. And he does miss. Like, people, again, we saw.
Well, he takes shots.
Justin Herbert missed a couple of wide open plays. And when Trevor missed the Zay Jones play 2 weeks ago, we're like, I can't believe it. How could he be a generational guy and miss that play? Well, Mahomes misses that. Not that, but I mean, he misses sometimes. We saw Herbert miss.
Yeah, no one's infallible.
You know, they're not. They do miss, but they make up for it. See, that's the thing. Well, guess what Trevor did the other day? Made up for it.
He made up for it.
You know, and those are what those guys do that. Like Josh Allen, he was awful at times the other day.
Well, there's a difference
Then
between
he makes up for it.
There's a difference between missing and having a miss that costs you the game, like Dak Prescott did when he played the Jaguars.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, he still gets blamed for that. It wasn't even his fault.
The second pick, yes.
Yeah, it was a beautiful throw, and the guy dropped it.
He got popped, yeah.
So Kansas City's interesting me. I really do think they've gone under the radar this year because we're just used to them being good, and it's like, okay. But their story is incredible. They lose Tyreek Hill,
and improve.
And they are better. It's like a sleepy better. How have we already gotten stale of Patrick Mahomes? Like, I think everybody, see, this is the other problem with Mahomes. I think everybody appreciates him and loves him. There's no, like, polarization with Kansas City. Like, who hates Kansas City? When the Patriots were crushing everybody, people hated Bill Belichick. Then
early on, they didn't, though.
Not early on, but by year five, they did.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And so people were tired of it.
Yes.
And then you had all this other stuff going on, whether it was Deflategate or the cheating
now they're
stuff,
cheaters, and there's a reason to hate them.
You got nothing like that with Kansas City. Like, Kansas City is like a likable team, a likable franchise. I was talking to Steph today. I was like, because they were thinking about going to the game. I said, well, the fan base is cool. Like, they're not going to give you a hard time for having a Jags jersey on. Like, I'm sure there'll be some, but it's a nice Midwestern fan base.
Kansas City, wonderful city.
So
what are we doing here?
It's a nice place to be.
Like, why doesn't I need to find somebody who hates Kansas City?
Me.
Like Mahomes and Reed and the team.
Maybe I should make some phone calls to Kansas City to some random people.
Outside of the AFC West, they hate him because they know they're going to run the division for him.
Yeah, that's true.
I hate him.
You hate him?
Yes.
We'll be back on ESPN 690.
In case you were wondering, Rashean Mathis, big Trevor Lawrence guy.
He rolled out to his left and made a play to Agnew, I believe.
Yes, that's the play.
On the sideline. I was like that's Mahomes, that's Lamar, that's Josh Allen. It's not too many quarterbacks that's going to make that throw. You know, even scramble like that. Find his way out of the pocket with poise and make that type of throw. Like, that's big-time football.
Hear more from Rashean every Monday at 4 p.m., only on ESPN 690.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra.
Take it.
Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles. 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena, Saturday, March 25th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital, CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Hi, I'm Kim Simon with Yoga for Change. Thank you to the players for supporting our mission of addressing the mental and physical health of veterans, youth, individuals who are incarcerated, and those living with mental health conditions through the practice of yoga. 49 days to go.
Fields Auto Group is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and buying or leasing a luxury car on the First Coast is easy with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover Jacksonville, Porsche Jacksonville, and where my wife leases her car from Fields Cadillac Jacksonville and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, no problem. Fields Auto Group will order it and at a fair price. So stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. FieldsAuto.com.
Hey folks, now that the kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I can see that it's time to get my carpets and sofas cleaned. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res can clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rugs, and even the tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying with over 5,000 5-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Koala, koala, koala insulation.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Fall is finally here, and hopefully so are milder temperatures. But don't wait to insulate your home. Take advantage of 20% savings off our summer rates and start saving on those utility bills now and all those hot summers to come.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. Start something new sales event.
Drive your new year forward with a great deal on a great vehicle from the dealer that values its customers. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. Drive a new Gladiator and get up to $5,000 in bonus cash. You want a truck? You want a Jeep? You'll have the best of both worlds in a Gladiator, Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, Compass, Laredo, Latitude, and Limited. Save! Our lenders are ready to make you a new car loan today.
Perfect credit or not.
See our inventory at jackcjdrwestside.com. Buy a new Jeep and you'll be enrolled in the Jeep Wave worry-free maintenance program. If for any reason we don't have exactly what you're looking for, we will factory order it with everything you need and you won't pay a premium price. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, I-295 and Commonwealth Avenue, Westside.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
We're back. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. That was Kasey saying.
What is it with what? Why are you shooting at me today?
He's not shooting at you.
You just shot at me in the break. You told me I was the least important person in your life.
Well, facts.
Like, I'm trying to help.
It's chronological order, man. You're talking about the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. I got shows to worry about today and getting us to Kansas City.
You told me to worry about it. You said, text me this information. I texted. I get nothing back.
He doesn't give you any respect, Kasey.
Nothing. No respect. It's Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. You guys are the Ravens.
Don't let him talk to you like that, man.
I didn't have a good answer, so I was like, I'm not just doing some small talk thing like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I'll digest it later.
That's right.
That would have been great. I'll digest it later. I would have been okay. Awesome.
You did a good job on your assignment, though, overall. Those were options. I appreciate
good all the time.
No, don't.
Name one time I've been bad recently.
I don't want to tell you hurt your feelings. You're in a soft spot today.
Man, this man lives in a soft spot. Have you seen the way he looks?
Unbelievable. Why is that funny?
In fact, the funniest thing about this part is like he'll be mad that I don't say anything.
Yes. Yes.
Because he'll think I'm serious. He's about to go in the tank, people.
He really
5
is
o'clock.
angry.
Football at 5 with Kasey in the tank. Look out, Middleton. Overtime's going to be a little different today.
I'm so lost at what's happening.
Love it.
Hey, we're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys. Frankly.
Fair enough. Are we missing anything in sports? So is Tom Brady going to retire?
Not again.
We talked a little bit about the options for Tom Brady. None of us believe he's going to retire.
I do.
None of us.
Okay, none of us.
I don't know why Kasey thinks he's going to retire. The man is still better than more than half the quarterbacks in the league, in my estimation.
Just at the middle of half.
In my estimation. So
you could put him at 50.
There are certainly teams that want him. You got enough young quarterbacks in the league who are playing awful that you could stand this man in front of them and learn them a thing or two.
I kind of feel like he should retire.
Like, the only reason I don't think he should retire is because he threw his whole marriage away to keep playing. So you might as well just keep going.
We don't know if those things are related.
Well,
but it seems like it.
It seems like it. Okay,
like
so
Brent is living in denial right now.
I'm going to make that connection. If I'm wrong, Tom, You can call me out on it. It's fine. No big deal. Quote, retweet. That'd be fantastic.
This phone rings in a second.
Tom. I'd be like, whoa. So if you're going to do that, you might as well keep playing because somebody's going to take you. That's the only reason I would advise him to keep playing. But I don't know, man. He throws 66 times. I would just say I'm good.
66 times.
Like, I can be so rich in other spots.
Yeah, but again, they don't think like that.
I can be on Fox working one day a week.
He does still play. Like, he is, what is he now? Like an upper echelon, like half the league quarterback?
No, he's right in the middle.
Are you talking about where he belongs on the power ranking?
Like top 15 quarterback?
He's got him at like 15 or 16. I've got him at like 13.
Okay. But we're talking about Tom Brady. Like,
yeah, we are.
He shouldn't be the 15th best quarterback in the NFL. If you're the 15th best quarterback in the NFL, you have a higher standard. You should be going to the broadcast booth then.
Yeah.
Well, he's got that all locked up. But I also think that today's 15th best quarterback is different than 10 years ago 15th best quarterback.
Well, that's fair.
Pat Mahomes is elite. Jalen Hurts has turned himself into an elite quarterback. Joe Burrow is elite. Josh Allen is elite. Justin Herbert is elite. Trevor Lawrence is becoming elite. Tua had a great year. Okay, so I don't know if you put him permanently over Tom Brady, but he had a great year. Jared Goff had a great year. Is he better than Tom Brady? Yes. I don't know. Geno Smith had a great year.
That's where I draw the line.
If you say Jared Goff is better than Tom Brady,
like, isn't that
Tom
insanity?
Brady should retire.
But he's not. He's not better.
I would ride with Jared Goff right now.
But if you're thinking about it, he should retire.
I'm not thinking about it. I'm telling you, I'd ride with Jared Goff right now.
Here's the deal. Tom Brady is Al Michaels.
That is so disrespectful.
No, it's not. Al Michaels is better than a lot of people. Better than a ton of people.
But he's
not what he used to be.
This is actually a great comparison coming off two mid-games from both guys.
Hey, seriously, he's not who he used to be. Like, Al's got great pipes.
Guys.
Al with Rivera. But Al doesn't have the passion for it, and he's not as good as he was.
17 games, 67% completion, 4,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
23rd most points scored in the league.
8 wins.
The team was trash.
No, they weren't.
They were injured all year. His offensive line was hurt, and this man needs the protection.
Okay, so then for that argument, he should be staying in Tampa because you're not going to go find Chris Godwin and Mike Evans elsewhere.
He doesn't need receivers. He needs offensive linemen.
Right, but they're injured. They're not dead. I mean, they're coming back. These guys are going to come back from injury.
Fair. So maybe he resigns there. I don't think he does. I think he's moving on. But I'm just saying, more so than wide receivers, more so than running backs or tight ends, the man needs bookends and guards. That's what he needs.
Pretty soon he's going to need a cane.
It's accurate.
How you shooting at Tom Brady? You have a
Coming
wild
up on
day
ESPN 690.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors. With roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis, your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is now open for reservations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Coach, you wanted to see me?
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know we're going with Geico for next week's game.
Geico? As our starting point guard?
Geico really delivers in the clutch, with over 85 years of great claim service right when customers need it most.
Coach, Geico isn't a basketball player. It's an insurance company.
Yeah, I just feel like Geico gives us our best chance to win.
Are you serious right now?
Thanks, champ. Knew you'd understand.
For the choice you can always rely on, go to geico.com.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm at our ESPN LA studios. You may remember that Bev did a couple of days of work for ESPN last year.
No, I remember. I was on with him.
He left a gorgeous Dolce & Gabbana suit here that is just spectacular.
You should wear it on TV today, Brian.
I do not believe it will fit me, only because the arms are too long. You're across the street. Come over and get it. It's got to be at least a $7,000 suit.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. What does the future hold for quarterback Tom Brady? He has no timetable for his decision on what's next. After the Buccaneers' NFC wildcard loss to the Cowboys, Brady told reporters he's taking it day by day. The 45-year-old can still be the difference for a team contending for a championship with the right circumstances, believes Canty and Carlin co-host Chris Canty.
Put him in a situation where the supporting cast can accentuate what he does well or carry him to the point where he can be a difference maker. In particular, this aspect of the game, situational football, third downs, 2-minute, red zone. That's the kind of thing that Tom Brady needs to be set up for in order to have success now.
Our Chris Canty on Greeny. 3 days after the Chargers' colossal playoff collapse in Jacksonville, the team fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi and quarterbacks coach Shane Day. Changes had been anticipated after Saturday's game, one in which LA had only 320 yards and 3 TDs. Even though its defense forced 5 turnovers, it appears that for now, head coach Brandon Staley's job is safe.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! But what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Pull Jack from! Yeah! Pull Jack from!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Those are bad Teddy Grahams.
Holy cow. That is the worst thing I've ever eaten. I did it yesterday. Brent Martineau, host of the show. Brent A.S. Jacks on Twitter. Bunch of bad tweets. You can find him there.
Many of them.
I'm going to tell you the whole story. He brought in this big box of chips that for the most part looked pretty good.
Okay.
Had a couple.
It does, right? It's like Sun Chips and Doritos.
It's like a variety box.
Doritos.
But here's the first clue.
Oh.
None of the chips that are in the box are on the box. That was clue number 1.
Whoa.
That this was a random box with random bags of chips.
Like a bait and switch.
A bait and switch. He found these on the corner of some street in Jacksonville and brought them in for his old buddy Kasey. Okay? So then they start to get worse. The chips on the top, oh, okay, they were good. Then I can tell the chips are stale, but then I find the Teddy Grahams. Yesterday.
I like me a Teddy Graham now.
Oh, I like them too.
Chocolate Teddy Grahams are good. The cinnamon are good. And then there's this like vanilla cupcake flavor that they put in the kids' boxes now. My kids don't even get their hands on it. I take them all.
How do you feel about cardboard flavored? Because these Teddy Grahams were at the bottom of the box. They smelled like cardboard. They tasted like cardboard. And there's no expiration date on the Teddy Grahams. Look on the bag. You won't find one.
I love that Kasey did all the research. He smelled it. He looked for the expiration date, and he comes to the conclusion, yeah, I'm going to eat them. I'm going to go ahead and shove these in my mouth.
In fairness to me.
I was really hungry.
To me, I was starving. This was yesterday.
Clearly, yes.
I left them here for you, and I didn't know about the cardboard until I tasted it. I said, these taste like cardboard. So I said, Middleton, have a Teddy Graham. He's like, they smell like cardboard. I'm like, this is a disaster. So then we did a whole segment where neither of us could really talk nor breathe because we had this horrible cardboard taste in our mouth for 20 minutes.
It's not that bad.
It's horrible.
Kids these days,
you're not
Brent,
going to
they
make it
complain
through the
about
segment.
everything.
You're not going to make it through
It
the
is
segment.
bad, though.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I didn't know snacks go bad.
So then we look through the whole
Snacks
rest of
never
the
expire.
box, and multiple of your bags of chips that say Best Buy don't have a date on them.
Oh, boy.
So you were trying to kill us.
Or you.
Well, it was really Steph.
Steph.
Now you feel bad, don't you?
Yeah. Steph gave me she's like, I don't know why. I think she cleaned out the pantry or something like that. I don't know where they actually, like the whole story, but I saw her throwing, or she was like going to throw them out or something. She's like, yeah, kids don't like these or don't eat them or whatever.
Yeah, because they're expired.
Well, she didn't say that.
They're from 1999.
She didn't say anything like that. She just said, yeah, the kids don't seem to eat these. They eat something else or whatever the I don't know. I was like, they're chips. Chips don't go bad.
Bring them in for the boys. We eat everything.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll bring them to the guys.
Those were the first Teddy Grahams ever made. They've been in that bag since whenever that company formed.
But the funny thing here is, like,
founding Teddy Graham.
Steph's probably to herself wondering, like, why aren't the kids eating any of this? And the kids probably tried it, didn't want to tell Steph that they're terrible.
Yeah.
It's what I'm thinking happened. So now I'm going back and telling Steph they're terrible. And
Tell
she's
her.
going to have to go probably buy us a whole new, brand new bag of chips.
Take her.
She owes us one.
Take her a Teddy Graham. Aaron, have a Teddy Graham.
No, thanks.
Oh, the Teddy Graham.
All right, I'll go
listen.
have a Teddy Graham. Hold on.
Go ahead. The Teddy Graham is
awful.
It's pretty bad.
Thank you.
I just
and I'm not like I am
need to grab it
not.
out of
I
the
can eat
trash.
anything.
Hold on.
Yeah, you did just take it out of the trash.
I'm going to take it out of the trash.
They're still fine. They're in
You
there.
threw them away. I was saving them for you guys.
Yeah,
And
no,
then,
I had
like,
one. And
all
that
right,
was
here we
good
go.
to throw away.
I got a Teddy Graham right here. There it is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
He's going to spit it out.
That is gross.
Yes.
What happened?
Martino's trying to feed us these things.
How do they go bad? Like, why would? How old do you think they really are?
Oh my God!
What's the
Multiple
staying
years.
power of Teddy Grahams and chips?
Holy smokes!
Did you try the Sun chips in that thing?
The cheddar Sun chips were good.
Really?
I was not alerted to any tomfoolery.
We have an expiration date.
You found it?
I did, yeah.
What year?
It's on the back. It says best if used by. Can I get it on camera? It's written in silver. Best if
It's
used
written.
by the 12th of March, 1997. No, 2023. March 2023.
Ain't no
Get
way.
out of here!
Ain't no way.
That was awful.
It is terrible. I wonder if they got wet or something.
Now, I just ate garbage Teddy Grahams. I don't know if maybe the garbage flavored it a little bit.
Nah.
There's also a coffee cup in there.
The garbage could have helped
believe
it.
me, they were over here.
It was gross.
Sorry,
Man.
sorry, guys. Thought we were doing a nice thing,
Oh, it's
bringing in
trapped in my
snacks for the
teeth
boys.
now?
And
Go brush my teeth with a flamethrower.
it's pretty bad. How about you get some tweets, Teddy Graham tweets?
Oh, I can't even think now.
This segment of tweets brought to you by Teddy Grahams.
What I appreciate is now we all ate one of the garbage Teddy Grahams. Like,
did.
I had one, Brian, you guys now had one. And we can agree that Martino screwed us.
Oh, gross.
It really is pretty bad.
Holy smokes.
Like if you had to, we could have made a bet and somebody's going to eat the whole bag of Teddy Grahams.
I'll do it for money.
Next
bro.
time we
It's
give
not
out like tickets or something, we should use those things.
Finish off the garbage Teddy Graham.
It's just stuck in my teeth. It's
I
like
told
I'm
you.
licking up the bottom of a foot.
Yes. It's going to be a miserable segment, boys. Good luck.
Jeez.
Good luck.
Ugh. Okay. Let's try and go
He's
to the
not going
tweets.
to make it. He's not going to make it.
Next Gen Stats is where we're starting, boys and girls. Dak Prescott earned a season-high 94 Next Gen Stat passing. Ugh, yuck.
Told you.
Stupid Teddy Grahams. Next Gen Stat passing score in the Cowboys' 31-14 victory over the Buccaneers. Most games with 90-plus Next Gen Stats passing score since 2021, including the playoffs. You got Josh Allen at 5. You got Dak Prescott, despite his struggles this year, at 6. Anyone want to take a guess at number 1? Who has the most 90-plus next-gen stat passing score games since 2021, including the playoffs? Pat Mahomes at 7. Guys, we got a tough one this weekend.
Here's the deal, man. You got a tough one no matter who it is. So unseat the Chiefs, who go to the AFC Championship game every year.
Every year.
The Chiefs are the Patriots.
More likable, though.
More likable, but they're the Patriots. It's Reed. It's Mahomes, it's Brady, Belichick. It's the Patriots go to the AFC Championship every year.
Even the coach is more likable. Like the hoodie is this grumpy, gruff guy who has like not even smart aleck answers for the media. He's just annoyingly mean and short to people. And then there's Andy Reid. He's like this fun, affable, lovable, walrus mustached guy with the glasses.
With the Hawaiian shirts on.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers.
Funny commercials where he's writing on people's faces. You gotta like this guy.
Okay, it's not really that funny, but
I thought it was kind of funny. Okay, fine. How about let's think back to a more fun time? Let's go to Tom Pelissero. Let's reflect back on the Chargers win from the weekend because staff changes are abound in Los Angeles this morning. Case, I know you wanted to see Brandon Staley hit that unemployment line. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Instead, Tom Pelissero reporting and tweeting right here, the hashtag Chargers fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi. And a big move by Brandon Staley, who should have candidates lining up for the chance to work with Justin Herbert. Not only did they fire their offensive coordinator, they fired their quarterbacks coach as well. Scapegoat, or is this solving a problem?
No, my favorite part about this is they were up 27. They're like, you know what was a problem? The offense.
The offense. This is what I'm saying. Like, how is this guy taking the fall?
Well, I feel like when we had Daniel Popper on, didn't he say Lombardi could be in trouble?
Yes.
There's a sense, again, you don't really have that sense unless you're covering the team day to day. So maybe something's off with Herbert and him. There's an element of that. Staley and Lombardi go way back, like way back. So it wasn't an easy firing. And I think there's probably just something amiss maybe with Herbert. Like that feels like more of a Herbert decision than it is a Staley decision.
Probably.
Don't you guys get the sense of that?
I would think so.
Because you're sticking, which here's what happens. This is how the league works now. It's really hard for a guy like Staley who survives, but he has a lot of heat, and then he goes and fires a couple of guys to go find the right guy. Because now listen, we've seen this in Jacksonville. Who's going to go with Staley and the Chargers thinking that he could get fired next year? Now, you do get to work with Herbert.
You get to work with Justin Herbert, some of the biggest high-powered offense in the league.
That helps.
And if you're an offensive coordinator with head coaching experience, maybe you think you take over for Brandon if he gets fired.
Well, there is that element, and that's been the case in Jacksonville too. Marrone, right? Marrone took the job with Gus Bradley in the last year and then gets the job.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a vicious cycle sometimes if you don't make the right call. Like if you don't get the right guy, and your pool definitely is shrunk. Because all the good guys have jobs, and then there might be a couple left over, but they might think you are going to pick up and move the family to L.A. for a year, and then Staley could be gone, and then we could all be gone. I mean, that's the reality. That's the reality of it. The other part of this is, how does this impact Justin Herbert? He's been terrific for 3 years. Like, statistically, he's unbelievable for 3 years.
And he's gotten better, yeah.
So is he going to mesh with the next guy? Is the offense that they bring in going to be good?
You got to imagine he's going to have a big say over who this person is.
I guess. I just don't know.
Especially if you think he had a big say over getting out Lombardi.
Do we think that he could stunt the development at all
maybe.
Of Herbert, where he's already really good, but he's trying to get to elite, next level elite? You could already put him in elite category, but he's trying to get that next level. Is this going to help or hurt him?
There are a lot of offensive coordinators doing the interview rounds right now. Even if you just look at a team like Carolina, who has done no less than, I think, either 10 requests or actual interviews. Ken Dorsey, Bills offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator. Mike Kafka, Giants offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore from the Cowboys, offensive coordinator. Shane Steichen from the Eagles, offensive coordinator. Like, these guys are out there and they're interviewing. There are options, and I think it's a pretty impressive job to put on your resume when you're working with Justin Herbert, maybe even catching credit for this man's development. And I think it could catapult some of these guys to that head coaching position if that's what they're interested in.
Yeah, those guys, some of those fast risers, though, Johnson in Detroit, I think, and Kafka with the Giants, those are two big names. Like, are they, again, that's my point. Are they going to go willing to be there? All you have to do, do you get to a Byron Leftwich tweet at all in today?
No, but we should talk about that.
But all you have to do is look at a guy like Leftwich. Leftwich is rising. He's with Brady. Wow, look at this.
He was almost the coach.
A lot of credit. Then rumors are he's going to be the guy here in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Not the guy. And then look, they wanted to fire him halfway through the year.
Yeah.
How do you guys view the whole Leftwich thing? How close do you think it was? And did the Jags dodge a bullet for whatever reason? Maybe it was because he would have had to work with Trent Baalke or whatever it is.
I didn't think Leftwich would have worked out here for a few reasons, and almost none of them have to do with his ability. It just seemed like a monumental task coming in here after Urban Meyer and being the guy to fix it, and this is your first time on the job, and you have ties to the city. That, to me, is just too difficult. Like, maybe if Leftwich had been a head coach somewhere for 5 or 10 years, maybe if he had that on his resume and then was coming back to it, you know, Pete Carroll on the Jets was a disaster, on the Seahawks has been masterful, that kind of thing. If that's what Leftwich had going for him, I maybe would have had a little more faith in it. But, man, looking back on that, like, how is he going to be able to do that? This was not a job for a first-time coach, and that's why I think he didn't get hired.
Yeah, and that's why you also wonder how close was it. He didn't have a lot of smoke to him other than Jacksonville either, right? If you remember. Like, he wasn't going on interviews all over the place, though.
But it seemed like they were serious.
Wasn't either.
Yeah, but it did seem like they were serious.
So I just think all this stuff is fascinating, and to see how it plays out. Like, we talk about the last year. This morning, or actually today, we might even talk a little more. The roster build and Trent Baalke. Trent Baalke a year ago. His situation to what it is now, where, like, this roster has really shined. And he's been a part of the building of it for 2 years, and a lot of those players are the reason the Jags are here.
Yeah, he should own some of that credit
too. But everybody tried to run him off, and then it was, hey, it might be Byron Leftwich. That guy got fired, and was months later, Tampa wanted to fire him, working with Tom Brady. Like, how good would he have been here? No idea. And I agree with your point. He probably wouldn't have handled the situation like Doug was able to handle it, just because he was a first-timer.
He'd be learning on the
job. Way too much on the plate.
Yeah.
Which I think we talked about a lot when we were going over the Leftwich stuff. And I wasn't like this guy that said, hey, no way to Leftwich. Not at all. I mean, I could see it. And it looked like he was a rising star. Is he not a rising star anymore? Was he never a rising star? Was all of it Brady?
Or Bruce Arians?
Was some of it Bruce Arians? Like, I don't think people talk about Tampa enough. They don't talk about Bruce Arians enough.
Yeah, that guy. You want to talk about one of my all-time favorite coaches ever. The dude had the charisma, but like a brilliant offensive mind.
You know, he's not too far off the like Andy Reid, Peterson feel.
Yeah.
Now he's a little more like wild card, I think, than both of those guys. But personality-wise, offensive mind-wise, like
different style, though.
Different style. Yeah, different style. But I think I always said this about Arians. Arians seems like this playful guy, great in an interview, like super nice guy, genuinely nice guy, but also could get red in the face, man, who's about to light your ass up.
I love guys like that.
You know? And I think Doug's got a little bit of that. Doug can give that scowl when it's time to give that scowl. And I think Andy Reid probably can, too. He seems like a jovial guy, and nothing's gone wrong, it seems, on the field for a long time. But
yeah, I don't think you become a head coach without being able to kick a few asses.
But the Leftwich stuff is really fascinating to see what's transpired. And the whole calendar year now, January to January, in Jacksonville alone, you wonder, Shad got it right, number one.
You probably dodged a bullet.
And how many bullets did you dodge, from the decisions you could have made or people thought you were making?
Yeah. Yeah, good one. Let's go to Peter Schrager, since we're talking about coaches. Sean Payton, open and honest with Colin Cowherd about the Texans job, which he just interviewed for. Says he's familiar with Cal McNair. He likes the AFC South. He's got a prior relationship with Nick Cassiero through the Saints and Patriots. He's meeting with McNair this week. Do we actually believe Sean Payton is taking the Texans seriously?
No.
Now, he's had a few requests for interview, and he said during the season he doesn't want to go to a dysfunctional franchise. Now, I don't know who he's talking about. None of us really know who he's talking about. But here are some of the franchises that have reached out to him. Denver has reached out to him. The Cardinals have reached out to him. The Texans have reached out to him.
Sounds like dysfunction.
Is he really considering the Texans? I find it really hard to believe.
I actually think it makes some sense.
Because he can start from zero?
Yeah.
Molded in his image?
Well, here's the thing.
I think that's a reason to stay away.
I don't know. I feel like Peyton might have an ego, and he can run that show. Like, think about the urban keys to the car, where you make every decision, right? You run the building.
Yep.
But Peyton's been there before in the NFL and obviously has a resume and he knows how it works. Different than a college guy coming in. But Urban got like all the power in the building. But it's also a very similar situation to when the Jacksonville Jaguars were last year when Urban got the keys to the car. They had a high draft pick that was going to land them a quarterback. So if Sean Payton likes the quarterback options at number 2, either way, what they get, whether it's a Stroud or Bryce Young, and if somebody else trades above them, you still get one of those guys, Levis, whatever it might be. And you have I think like over $40 million in cap space. And he either can go work with Caserio or he can fire him. Like he can make that decision.
Yep.
And again, I'm just putting this in as like a hypothetical.
Don't you think he can make those demands at whatever team wants him?
I don't think so. Well, no, because first of all, how many people are picking in the top 3 where you get your quarterback that you like?
So the Cardinals are a top 5 pick. The Panthers are a top 10
okay,
pick.
But
Panthers
you're stuck
also
with the quarterback in Arizona.
Say it again?
You're stuck with the quarterback. You better
That's
like
fair.
him.
But as the GM, you can also find a trade partner if you choose.
You can't. That's stuff to do with the $46 million.
You're not wrong at all.
Denver, you're stuck with Russell Wilson. So those are totally different situations.
Yeah.
You get a blank canvas in Houston. You get to paint the picture. And you get to really be the artist in totality of everything, most likely. So I actually think, and you're playing in the AFC South, which is, right? It's not like the most difficult division.
No, it's certainly not an elite division of football like you saw played in the NFC West this year or like people expected the AFC West to be.
So I'm not telling you that I think Peyton will take the job or could take the job, but I think there's more sense in taking the job than it sounds like. I think we are a little stuck on the dysfunction bite that he had. Like in that
because
thought.
he said it.
I know
you never hear
it.
people say something
I know
like
he said
that.
it, but I think new quarterback that I really like, $40 million, power, divisional stuff, but also doesn't even have to move very far from where he was. In the New Orleans area, it's like, 3 hours away or something? I think all of that adds up to be like, this situation isn't too bad. Let's just make sure I get to carve it out so I don't have to have these negative, dysfunctional people in there. Now, the difference is there was none of that. To start, when Urban got it, he made it all that.
Yeah.
From a dysfunction standpoint.
Listen, the Texans, 142, 195, and 1. That is the historical record for the franchise.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. If Sean Payton had said that, all right, the dysfunction part, and he were to be available last year,
okay,
all right, do you think he would like the Jags opportunity?
No.
Well, then he would have been mistaken.
He would have been
mistaken.
mistaken.
Because the Jags opportunity is a good one.
But I do think he would have stayed away because of the dysfunction. And I think had he said it last year, he would have been pointing directly at this franchise because it was one of the most dysfunctional.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And that would have been a bulky mix thing, and would he have been able? But again, I'm talking about Caserio. You're not going to fit him in there. I'm saying if Peyton gets a job, he gets to decide. Mm-hmm. He gets to decide whether he thinks Nick Caserio is the guy to stay with and all that stuff, or go find another guy because you're going to give him those kind of keys to the car. Now, Houston also, they don't have to give something up to get him. Remember that with the Peyton stuff.
But they got capital.
Wrinkle.
They got capital.
They do have capital.
And that's
still,
why the only teams really
calling
calling on him are teams with capital like the Texans or like the Panthers. But, the other part that no one's really talking about is there really aren't any successful coach GMs in football. I mean, yes, a billion years ago, you had guys like Paul Brown and George Halas, Bill Belichick. Like, outside of that, name me one of the last 20 years.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. But I'm just saying he would go find his own GM. I'm not saying
but
he'd be the
he's
GM.
going to be the guy.
Well, you got to
He's
be
talking
careful
about making those player personnel decisions.
I think Peterson's very involved. But he also is like, I don't need to make the decisions. I just want to be very involved.
Yes.
And so if Sean Payton is smart enough when that kind of conversation comes up, I think he would do something similar, have a lot of power, influence, conversations, but also maybe not be the guy that the blame goes to. Now, where does ego come into play? Because I do agree with you. I don't think many people are successful at that job. I think history has shown us that Bill Parcells couldn't do it.
I mean, he should know as a coach, there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, you can't do two jobs. You can have influence, though, over that other job, and that's not a bad thing.
Especially if your team is going through a rebuild. I mean, you need to be even more involved as the GM.
Yeah, and change the culture and everything else that's transpired in Houston. I mean, they have been messy. But the big thing there is not – they've got rid of the other guy. Who was the other dude from New England? Like, they fired him that nobody liked.
Oh, that was fighting with Watson. It was the whole reason Watson said he wanted to leave. I forget his name.
The young – I forget his name now. But the big thing is, can you get along with McNair, the owner?
Yeah.
Like, how do you view him? And if they have a relationship in the past, then the answer is going to be, yeah, no problem. The one thing about the dysfunction in Jacksonville, who is it?
Jack Easterby?
No. Oh, Easterby, yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's who it is. The one thing about Jacksonville, it might have been a mess. It might have been dysfunctional. But every coach out there would say, I'll go work for Shad Khan.
Well, and Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can work for McNair, then maybe you can clean up all that dysfunction, I guess is my point with Sean Payton.
Yeah. That's a good and honestly, all these guys believe that they're the key to
Well, that is true. They all have that ego to be able to do that.
The Texans have like 8 good players.
Well, that's a revamp. That's a revamp. But see, that's what I always wonder.
Sean, you're like 3 years away from doing anything. And you're looking at Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence like that's what I have to beat to win the division?
If you get the quarterback. Like,
right, there's no
if
guarantee.
he drafts the quarterback, like it's a 50-50 whether the guy's going to work out or not.
Yeah.
But
like,
don't you feel like a guy that helped like kind of remake and build New Orleans almost from ground up, like likes that idea?
But do you have another 10 years on your hand?
Or the patience to do it at this point in your life?
Payton?
Retired once.
Now, listen, I wouldn't do it either, but these guys, it's in their blood. I mean, you got to get in their world, in their head. I mean,
I get
he
it.
tried the TV thing and he didn't like it, so.
But there's more, like, I know that the Colts were not a team you mentioned there, Aaron, but, like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, nearly the same situation, but there's more than 8 good players.
So the Colts have actually talked to, I think, the most people so far with more on the way. But they're talking mainly to offensive and defensive coordinators, people like Eric Bieniemy, Anavero, Aaron Glenn on the Lions, Ben Johnson from the Lions, Kafka, Wink Martindale from the Giants, Raheem Morris from the Rams is on that list. They did an interview with him already. Jeff Saturday, obviously, on that list, and a few others. And I don't think they're done either.
Well, they're going to extensive search. I wonder if the Jags, the way they did this extensive search, is kind of the way guys are doing it now a little bit. I thought
they're not the only team with a long list.
I kind of thought it was too exhaustive, if you ask me. But
Texans and Broncos with a long list. The Panthers with an even longer list than the Colts. So you might be right about that.
You know, I just saw a tweet. I shared this with you guys in a break. 7 out of the 8 coaches remaining in the playoffs right now, and this is a one-year thing. I'm not saying it's a trend, but it might be a trendy thing if you look back, from a Super Bowl standpoint and everything else, are offensive minds. McDermott's the only defensive-minded coach.
And
that is probably this way to go. Like you're bringing up Aaron Glenn, right, who's considered a hot coaching guy.
I would love to bring him home to New York.
Very Mike Vrabel-esque.
Come on.
You know, where people have labeled him as a guy that's going to be very good. But I actually think they might lean toward, obviously, the Paytons, but even the Kafkas and the Johnsons of the world to be the next guy because it's on the offensive end.
That's a good point. I think I got one more here. Really simple, quick question. This one comes from Andrew Siciliano. He's quoting the brand new Cardinals GM, who happens to be the former VP of Player Personnel with the Titans.
We think that's weird, Kasey and I.
Yep. I think it's weird, too.
Makes no sense. Shout out to him, though.
Cardinals GM Monty Ossenfort.
Cool name.
Here's the quote.
Great name.
Ego will not be tolerated in this organization.
Well, this show is over.
I guess my question to you, Brent, is he talking to Kyler Murray and only Kyler Murray?
It's great. I read it and I saw it and I was thinking, I was like, okay, what's he get? Is there more context to it, first of all? Because we see I would think, I think that's a message to Kyler Murray. I mean, who else is a message to? Is it DeAndre Hopkins? It might be.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins asked out, so he doesn't need to be tolerated. I don't think he's talking to DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, he's not out.
Also, DeAndre
that might
Hopkins,
also be, I'm not trading DeAndre Hopkins.
Maybe.
So get it together.
But
bro.
also, if you believe in this guy's reputation, DeAndre Hopkins isn't one of these me first ego guys.
Yeah, I think there's mixed results on that. Like I think he's got the diva wide receiver in him that kind of lends to whether he's like that or not. It portrays like he can be probably inside a building when you're going up and down the hall, throwing me the ball, even though it might not say it in front of a microphone. And I don't know that's happening, but it could be happening. There's more to it, right? I always say this. There's a level of toxicity that exists in every organization in the NFL.
Goodness, yes.
Winning and losing certainly plays a role in how much that gets escalated or de-escalated.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray's has been escalated. Did Kingsbury fuel that fire? Was it bad leadership? Was
Maybe
Kingsbury in his big house in Thailand now with his significant others?
Are you talking about his house in Arizona, which is a gorgeous place?
I know. I'm just saying, like him, did he breed some of that ego stuff?
Huh.
I don't know where this is coming from.
I don't think of Kingsbury as like an ego guy.
I don't know. Well, I do. I mean, I'm sure he has.
Like, I'm sure
I
there's
think of
some
every
degree
college
of that.
football coach as an ego guy.
Relative to the other people on the team and in the organization.
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm wondering if that's who is he saying it to? Is he trying to send a message that we had this and we're not going to anymore? Or we've got this in here and it better get out of here? And Kyler probably is a part of that in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, he didn't hide it. Not from the cameras, not from the press. He talks about himself when he talks to the team, when he talks about the team.
But I actually thought, my interpretation of this was like, I'm not sure that's the best way to start your time in Arizona.
No.
Probably not.
Because Kyler or whoever else may interpret it a way you didn't think it was intended.
Have we checked Kyler's social media?
He may have deleted everything. Here's the only way I think it's a good move. If before that press conference, he's already spoken to the team individually or in groups, and he's found out that this is a real core complaint, no accountability, there are egos, everyone needs to be on the same level, and then he goes out and says those words, maybe he's sending a message to the team, I'm here to do right by you. I just don't think that's the way it happens.
Because there's another part of this, guys. It's like, if I was Kyler Murray, I'm making $46 million, and I'm Kyler Murray, whether you like me or not.
Sure.
And I'm like, who the hell is Monty Ossenfort?
Yeah, you don't have to listen to any of this.
Like, who is this guy? You know? I mean, listen, the bottom line is a guy like Kyler Murray has maybe more power in the organization, at least to hold him hostage or make things worse. So that'd be a weird thing to call out Kyler Murray day one.
As untradeable as that contract is, I think they find a way to do it.
Somebody will take it.
I think they want to blow it up.
There's a talented kid now. Talented player. So
Broncos would take him.
Backing up Russell Wilson?
No,
you send Russell Wilson to the Cardinals.
I know. All right, we'll take a break. Football at 5, Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Talk some more football overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on the way. Don't forget, 7 o'clock tonight, Chase for the championship on the TV side on Fox 30. We'll be right back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly clear skies turn partly cloudy overnight. Some fog develops inland. Morning lows dipping down into the lower to mid-50s. On your Wednesday, turning mostly sunny and warm. Highs make it into the mid to upper 70s on Wednesday afternoon. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Blackwater Soul Review returns to the St. Augustine Amphitheater in April, featuring J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crowes, Lucas Nelson and the Promise of Real, Robert Cray Band, and Jackie Venson. Blackwater Soul Review, April 14th and 15th with J.J. Gray and Mofro, Brothers of a Feather with Chris and Rich Robinson of the Black Crowes, and more. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Ready to hit the open road and see America? Island Oaks, located just west of Jacksonville, Florida, is the perfect place to set up camp. With lakeside lots, swimming, fishing, dining, ball courts, live music, events, and new activities daily. There's something for everyone here. Call or text 904-906-6779 or visit islandoaksrv.info for weekly specials. Come solo for lasting memories or bring the family and friends for a fun-filled vacation. No RV? No problem. Island Oaks now offers lots equipped with ready-to-stay RVs in a variety of sizes to fit your vacation needs. No matter what you choose, you're sure to have a great time at Island Oaks RV Resort. Book your stay today. Call or text 904-906-6779 or visit islandoaksrv.info for weekly specials.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage, all at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 24-month zero-interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals.
I'm Tracy Phillips, owner of Promotional Presence and Jack's Chamber member, volunteer facilitator, and on the advisory board for the JWBC. I've learned firsthand from the courses and education offered by the JWBC that the connections and resources provide an environment for entrepreneurs to network and prosper alongside each other. Learn how to get involved and support North Florida women's business owners by visiting jackswbc.com.
Hey folks, now that the kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I can see that it's time to get my carpets and sofas cleaned. That's where Zero Res comes in. Zero Res can clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rugs, and even the tile and grout. Google Zero Res and see what your neighbors are saying with over 5,000 five-star customer reviews. Right now, get 20% off carpet cleaning and 20% off upholstery cleaning. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network dropped WFOX Fox 30, depriving you of your favorite programs. That means no more football playoffs this weekend or leading up to the big game in February. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air. Don't let Dish keep you from the important news, weather, sports, and entertainment programming you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and then switch to another TV provider.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty, that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored. Falling boxes and items stacked too high. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. ForThePeople.com.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut, take two, action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Mary on Demand is live. Start your marijuana education journey today and learn more with Mary on Demand. Take the self-guided education series at your own pace. You'll decide what you'd like to learn and when. Visit mary.famu.edu to learn more. That's mmeri.famu.edu. Mary, educate, learn, talk.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com. I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Hey, it's Brent Morton from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at BrentASJacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Jags and the Chiefs. We go to the top here?
To the top.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up. Our clock is all messed up.
Daniel Kilkenny wants to call. He's like, no callers today?
Oh, that's my bad.
Would you shut him off?
Of course.
So you have the ability to actually, block their calls?
He busies all the lines. He doesn't want to deal with anybody.
I do. Not necessarily true.
Steven does that sometimes.
Yeah. So I do it when we have stuff happening.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or if I have to co-host the show, like when Brent doesn't show up.
Yeah, you don't want to be bothered.
And then
Also,
naturally,
you don't want it ringing on the air either.
I got you.
Right. And then as soon as Brent showed up, I got mad at him about something. Then we went at it a couple times. So
Teddy Graham tasting.
Yeah. Okay, call now.
Call Daniel.
You can call. If you want to call the show, call now.
If you'd like to call, please call.
You have roughly 12 minutes and the show's over.
904-362-9901.
Very good. 904-362-9901. There it is up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And that beautiful looking stream.
Oh.
I complimented ourselves on the stream the other day. Not that I did anything, but on the postgame show. Duel and Duval postgame show. I was like, this stream's looking pretty because it had the city of Jacksonville on there.
It was a gorgeous
not
shot.
Your face.
It was a great idea by you. Gorgeous shot.
That was good stuff. Kasey, picking up the phone? It's waiting. How far is this stream behind? Because I'm looking at you like on the computer, and now I don't know if this is real time or not.
Nah, it's like 20 to 30 behind.
Yeah, it's a little bit behind.
Okay. I won't do that anymore.
There we go.
The phone's
Here
ringing.
comes Daniel. It's like we've just killed time to wait for Daniel to call. It's like, is he ever going to call us?
Yeah, on request.
If you're listening, call now.
That's when you know we really have self-respect. Just begging listeners to give us a call one by one.
This is, man, I say it all the time. College radio, you get that phone call, you're like, yeah, somebody's listening.
Yeah, man.
I'd probably feel like that a lot if we didn't have the streams. People are at least fake listening along the way. Daniel's on. Got through.
Sweet.
Hey, you passed the security test, Daniel. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I figured I was just got blocked calling too dang much or something.
No, man. You almost didn't make it.
No, it's not personal.
You might get to that point, but.
Daniel, you want a Teddy Graham? What's up?
Exactly. That's what I was calling as soon as they left, man. No, I just wanted to throw in my couple of cents there, like with the Tom Brady getting traded.
Yeah.
Why would anyone quarterback want to go to an AFC team? Because all the top quarterbacks, or at least majority of the top quarterbacks, are in the AFC. Just like when the Jags hit the league, bam, we're in the same conference as Brady, Roethlisberger. Then we get Manning, and it was just nonstop. Other teams were always the top, and so even when we had great records, we were still fighting for the wild card because we had either Manning or Brady or someone like that in the conference. And so anybody who was thinking about it, they would just go to the NFC because the pickings are a lot easier. If you can't get a wild card there, then you're doing pretty bad. And speaking of wild card, we've got to come up with a different name for this last weekend because it's not just a wild card weekend. Back before, the only teams that played on the first weekend were wild card teams. And there were a lot of people who would goof on the guys who would lose the wild card team because, they didn't make the real playoffs, Well, now half the teams that are playing are conference leaders. Actually, over half, are conference winners. So the only half of them are the wild card teams. So we need to come up with a different name.
Yeah, didn't they say something about Super Wild Card Weekend?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it, Super Wild Card Weekend.
It's not really that.
Yeah, I get you. I don't know what else we could call it, but I hear what you're saying, Daniel. Thanks for the call, man. On Brent Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Tuesday.
I think a lot of people talk about the AFC like it's dominated by quarterback play, and for rightful reasons, we talk about all these quarterbacks, certainly the ones in the playoffs. But if you go down at least 11 spots on this quarterback index from NFL.com, 6 AFC, 5 NFC.
Give it to us.
So at the top, it's top heavy with AFC. So I get it, right? You got Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, 1-1. You got then a couple from the AFC in a row. You got Burrow, you got Herbert, you got Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Tua. But then you got Jared Goff, NFC. You got Geno Smith, NFC. You got Dak Prescott, NFC.
Ain't nobody would have believed this.
And
list
if you
before the
believe
season.
Tom Brady, you got NFC Tom Brady.
Okay, but all the guys you just mentioned in the AFC are between the ages of 23 and 27.
You're right.
All those other guys are, either
elder statesmen or in their prime.
Not old, but they're already up there, and some are still debated. I mean, was it a one-off thing for Goff? Was it a one-off thing for Geno Smith?
They're on their second or third contracts.
So it's like, are you bought into that? You can buy into the young success of that AFC. And if you want to just say 4 out of the first 5 are AFC teams. So I think Daniel brings up a good point.
It is top heavy.
It is. It's two ways to look at that. Well, really, there's 3 ways to look at it. The first one being, nobody's going on some Brady run. There's too much friction in the AFC.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, it was Peyton Manning and it was Tom Brady.
I get it. There's more competition from other teams now, but you could totally see Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs rolling off like 3 out of the next 6 years.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have won 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
They've won 1.
Right.
He's been the best quarterback in the NFL for the last 5 years.
But how long ago was their win? Was it 3 years ago?
It was, what was
19.
that? 19?
So 3 years ago.
They've been in the AFC Championship game every year for the last, I think, 4, and they've got 1 Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
If he couldn't get it done now, what do you think they're gonna? You think he's even getting 4 Super Bowl wins?
Yes,
probably.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah. His contract's like the rest of his life.
I get it. I'll bet the under.
You won't pay if you win
True.
or lose, so.
We're only going to get more good quarterbacks in the league because I told you the position is more well played now by droves of players than ever before. And if he gets that, then where's Burrow on the list? Is Burrow winning a couple? Is Josh Allen winning a couple? Heck, I hope Trevor Lawrence has one.
Just say Tom Brady, Bill Belichick had a 10-year gap between Super Bowl wins. They go 2001, 2003, 2004, 2014. So it's possible.
That's fair.
Might not even hit his stride yet.
Then they won 3 more, right?
Yeah,
14,
and then he won
16,
his
other
18,
one.
yeah.
Of course, Tom Brady's played. Patrick Mahomes might not play until he's 45.
Maybe not.
But that's a fair point. So just the friction alone is really hard.
The only reason I even say it is because it seems like Herbert is a guy who needs specific target. Like without Mike Williams or without Keenan Allen, he's a little more mortal than maybe we used to think of Tom Brady, who didn't always have
better
weapons.
coach.
Fair. Didn't always have weapons. A guy like Joe Burrow, you think, he's really talented. You look at his college numbers, they're, huge. What is it, 60 touchdowns or 53 touchdowns in college? But also Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, like Joe Mixon. He's got studs, all pro level guys out there catching the ball. Pat Mahomes doesn't need it. He's got Kasey, but he doesn't need it. He spreads that ball around.
Let's say, in fairness, we're going to find out if he doesn't need it.
All right.
Because we don't know yet.
Because Kasey.
What I'm saying is he's proven that he doesn't need to rely on Tyreek Hill.
In the regular season.
And he doesn't need to rely on Kasey.
In the regular season.
Okay.
We ain't seen it yet.
Well, and here's the thing. There are people, I bet there are people around the National Football League that even though he's unbelievable and Tyreek Hill is, it can be an addition by subtraction play in your building, locker room, whatever. Like, I don't know if you miss it all with Tyreek Hill, you know? So, and Andy Reid's 64 years old. Is he going to Hawaii or is he going to go coach until he's 75?
I don't think he's coaching to 75.
Nah, I think so.
So when Andy goes, now listen, he'll be in a good place, but the one thing we don't know is even Russell Wilson's 10-year run, it was all with Pete Carroll and Belichick and Brady. Like, can you make that adjustment from coach to coach? Maybe. I think it was it Montana who would have gone from Bill Walsh to Seifert?
With the Niners, yeah.
Right? Or was Young already there by then?
I think Montana was finishing up with Seifert, but I could double check.
But even like Marino's career was a lot with like Shula. You know what I mean? So can you make that change if he decides in 4 years, when Patrick Mahomes is still like 31 years old and could play for another decade, that you don't have Andy Reid anymore? And by the way, you don't have Travis Kelce anymore either. Kelce's a huge part of this.
A huge part in
He's
the
biggest
red zone.
mismatch. He's the biggest mismatch in the game, maybe.
And it's fair, and he catches a lot of touchdowns for him, but he's not necessary to run that offense. We've seen it run without him.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Mahomes. I'm just telling you, this guy has been unbelievable for 5 years, and he's got one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's some of the most crazy quarterbacking we've ever seen. He's in the Hall of Fame already after 5 years of his career, and he's got one Super Bowl.
And he may not have invented off-schedule plays, but he's certainly like the poster child.
And he did play with Tyreek Hill, and he did play with Travis Kelce, and he does have Andy Reid as the coach. So, like, can you keep – that's going to start taken away. Can you replenish? And is he good enough? I don't know, guys. I don't think he gets to 4 Super Bowls. Like, I really don't.
So, Seifert took over the Niners in 89. Montana left the Niners, I believe, in 92.
Dang.
So he was there with Seifert.
Okay.
But it was the end.
And Seifert wasn't even there that long. Yeah. So, again, I don't know, but I'd bet against it right now that Mahomes – now, I might have to make that bet after this year. But do you guys even think they win this year? Let's just say they get by the Jags.
It's tough. It's not a cakewalk.
Who do you think's winning, Kasey? San Fran?
Yeah, currently.
If not Philly? Like, I think actually the Chiefs would beat those two teams. I really do. But I'm not even
San
sure
Fran
they
beats the
survive
Chiefs.
Cincinnati or Buffalo.
I think San Francisco beats the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs beat the Eagles.
Okay, well then, you hurt your case a little bit if he's there in the Super Bowl with this team and they're the best offense in the league and he's playing great football.
I also believe that the San Francisco 49ers, and it's not recognized at this level yet, but we'll look back on this Niners team as one of the great teams in history. I mean, it is really an impressive roster.
I don't think they beat San Francisco. I think they could beat Philly.
To do what you've done with a 6th-round pick, and I know you love Brock Purdy, Kasey, but everything they've done with Brock Purdy is not because this guy is the next Tom Brady. It's not.
I will tell you this, too. If they can't win this year, this has been a bad – like, this isn't like the most – this isn't the best football ever played in the NFL this year. Been a lot of very average to mediocre teams, and then there are some really good teams. But I think if you look back over the last couple of years, I mean, you've seen a lot, like even in this division, AFC South, and we saw what Tampa was, and obviously all the quarterbacks that people have gone through. The road was easier for some with 64 different quarterbacks playing. Yeah. And what else we're not accounting for is at some point, usually even Brady, who stayed so healthy, missed one season because he got hurt.
Yeah, that
right?
bad knee, yeah.
If you play long enough, you're probably going to miss some time, and you hope it's just a one-off deal. All the great quarterbacks usually stay healthy.
Now, the opportunities to get hurt are less in 2023 than they were in 2000.
That's a good point. The other part of this, to your, what you brought up, what Daniel brought up, I don't think the free agent quarterbacks, like Brady in the instance of Daniel asking the question, they don't care who they're playing. Like, they don't look at it that way. I do think in the Sean Payton context, those are the guys, the new coaches coming into the league. Now, there's only 32 jobs, so you're not going to shy away from one. But if you do have your choice, you might slide toward that NFC more than the AFC because it might be hard to build a legacy in the AFC for the next 10 years. In the NFC, you might be able to do that. You might be able to take over a Green Bay or a Minnesota or whoever. Name it.
But again, what if you're one of these guys with a huge ego and you go, how great would it be when I dominate that league versus the easy league?
I think they'd rather dominate them in the Super Bowl. One team, not the league. But I think the AFC is really strong.
Yeah.
Really strong. I got one other question before we get out of here. I know we're going to get out of here. Do we get Tom Brady conversation? I just asked this on social media. LeBron James comes to mind. Tiger Woods, and I love Tiger Woods. Do we get tired of those guys? Like, do we get fatigued? Like, are we tired of Brady? I don't dislike Brady. I appreciate his greatness. But I feel like I might be like, all right, Tom. I mean, we get it. You made it till you're 45. Like, it's cool. Awesome career.
Yeah.
But we're done. Like, we've done this with Brett Favre. We got tired of him. Like, all right, Brett, we're tired of you doing this every year. Aaron Rodgers is a little bit. He's getting fatigued.
He's starting to get there, yeah.
LeBron, it's not their fault, by the way. They cover LeBron every step he takes. But do we get fatigued of those guys?
I think if you're getting fatigued, it's most likely because you had some rivalry with the team at some point. Like, I think the people who hate LeBron hate him more for beating their favorite team than they hate him for seeing him all over the place. But I will say, yes, with Favre, and yes, it's starting to with Aaron Rodgers, where it was every year you're like, oh, is this the year you retire? With Brady, I think it's a little different because this is kind of like this freak thing. We're watching this old man play with these young guys and, despite what Kasey thinks, play well. Like, mid. He's just a little more than that, but okay. Like, he's still impressive.
How about
he's still
Tiger?
throwing for almost 5,000
You're not a golf
yards.
guy. Are you tired of Tiger?
No.
You don't hate Tiger. I'm just saying, are you tired?
I'm not
it's
tired
like, all
of
right,
him,
Tiger,
no.
go retire?
No, I find him impressive. I want him to keep playing. Not tired of LeBron, not tired of Tiger. I hate Tom Brady for the Patriots stuff, but I'm not tired of his career. I think it's impressive. Gives me hope as an old guy.
You are old.
That maybe I'll catch on with the Tampa Bay Bucs or something. Start slinging it. I'll just stop eating tomatoes. It'll be okay.
There's no hope. There's just no hope. Avocado ice cream for you tonight. And Teddy Grahams, just to throw in there.
Teddy Grahams were awful. Super awful.
Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up next. That'll do it for us. By the way, no Morning Madness tomorrow. We pick it back up on Thursday and Friday. None tomorrow. Back at 3 o'clock with Ann Friends, and then I'll join them at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, man.
Brent and Friends tomorrow on ESPN 690. We also have a TV special tonight, Chase for the Championship, 7 o'clock on Fox 30. Have a good night.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
I am Dion Wellington, owner of Ice Capade Frozen Treats, and a Jack's Chamber member and graduate of JWBC's Entrepreneurial Certificate Program. Connecting with JWBC has provided me with the education, resources, and meaningful relationships to be more confident in growing my business in historic Springfield. This support is invaluable to women in business, and I am most thankful to be part of it. For more information, visit jacksjwbc.com.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Medicare open enrollment is October 15th to December 7th. Volunteers with the Florida Department of Elder Affairs SHINE program are available to help with your Medicare questions, virtually or by phone during COVID-19. SHINE is open and ready to help you with local and unbiased counseling and assistance. Visit floridashine.org or call the Elder Helpline at 1-800-963-5337.
The Eagles Hotel California Tour.
Welcome to the Hotel California.
Live in concert with a full orchestra. Performing their iconic album Hotel California, beginning to end, plus a greatest hits set. The Eagles. 5-star Veterans Memorial Arena, Saturday, March 25th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Start the new year off with worry-free water. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family, like they've done for my family for over 5 years. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment. Your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Well, hello there. I am the Guitar Hotel. I have over 3,000 of the newest slot machines and nearly 200 table games with real cards and real dealers. Come experience my incredible lineup of restaurants, bars, and of course, Hard Rock Live. Or spend a day soaking up the sun in my 18 acres of poolside paradise. I can't wait to meet you. Visit hardrockholly.com to find out more.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
We're dealing at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. With nonstop action, poker games of all limits, exciting tournaments and table games, and a sports bar showing all the action, Best Bet St. Augustine has you covered. Don't miss our delicious dining options, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and our always popular freshly made sushi. Best Bet St. Augustine is located at 800 Marketplace Drive off exit 311, where I-95 and State Road 207 meet. Learn more at bestbetjacks.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Marcus Roberts, and I've been blind since I was 5 years old. I'm a jazz pianist and composer, and I've been fortunate to perform all over the world for more than 30 years. I am also a proud graduate of the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. While there, I had great teachers who specialized in working with blind and visually impaired students. FSDB provided me with many of the essential skills I needed to succeed. The school is a state public school available at no cost to eligible K-12 Florida students who are deaf, blind, or both. FSDB helps students to do more, be more, and achieve more. It prepares them for a lifetime of success. For more information, call 800-342-3732 or visit www.fsdbk12.org.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee Show today said he hasn't yet made a decision on whether he wants to return for a 19th NFL season. Also said he thinks he can still play at a high level and win MVP again in the right situation, whether it's for Green Bay or elsewhere. Rodgers certainly putting the Packers in a tough spot again, says former NFL executive Randy Mueller.
Obviously, you're holding your own franchise a little bit hostage if you delay decisions like this. I think it cost them last year. As a GM, it would be a nightmare because you really can't make a plan. You can't figure out where your cap's going to be. You can't figure out where your quarterback's going to be. I think they would be okay with Jordan Love, but obviously it's a different team without Aaron Rodgers in every way.
Randy Mueller on Canty and Carlin. Changes made by the Chargers. Offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi and quarterbacks coach Shane Day were fired. The fallout 3 days after the Chargers coughed up a 27-point lead in the AFC wildcard loss in Jacksonville. LA's offense consistently underperformed this season as well, especially in the running game and red zone, despite having quarterback Justin Herbert.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
We are here for Magda, a Holocaust survivor.
Things become harder with age.
We are here for Sharonda, who needed parenting support.
I cried out to her. She listened to me.
And we're here for Ashley, who needed to heal.
She helped me feel like I didn't have to be scared.
Jewish Family and Community Services is here for seniors with food, financial assistance, and counseling. JFCS is here for Jax. Visit jfcsjax.org.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
that sound is the OT curse music. Because we curse the GOAT. Did we just send the GOAT into retirement? Did we retire the GOAT? Do we have that much power around here? I can't believe we both picked the Bucs. What a disaster. If you're new to the program, the OT curse is simple. Every game we have here on the radio, which was Monday, Thursday night football, and the occasional college football matchup midweek, we picked a game. And if me and the broadcast on picked the same teams, they always lost. Or somebody got hurt, one of the two. And in this game, not only did somebody get hurt, but the Bucs lost. We sent the Bucs home early, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Side note, this is Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
You might have been confused by the OT curse because you're like, what is OT? Well, this is OT. Dude, are you preparing for a snowstorm? What's going on here? Get in front of the camera.
Oh, man.
This guy, Aaron Schachter, after just co-hosting Brent Friends, has a hoodie, a zip-up jacket, and a Brent Friends beanie on. It's Florida, dude.
Oh.
What a disaster.
Freezing outside.
Anyway, Overtime with Kurtz Middleton, ESPN 690. Welcome to the program. We won't be here very long, so stick with us for just a little bit as we take you through the lightning edition of the show.
It's a good reminder.
It is a good reminder. Brian Middleton is on the ones and twos, and he brought all the content for the show. Brian said, don't worry, fam, I got this show. I got this thing locked down. What are we doing, some overreaction? Some underreaction?
Yeah. Overreaction. Or not an overreaction. Do you remember right before Christmas?
I do remember right before Christmas.
We started something brand new. Because that's what we do at the end of the year. We start something new.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
And just for people that may not remember, okay, let's just run through it real quick. Kasey, since we want to hop into it real quick, since it's not a long show.
FSU basketball coming up is why it's not a long show, by the way.
There you go, Kasey. Overreaction, not an overreaction. I am going to say a statement. Kasey is going to either say it's an overreaction or not an overreaction. If it is an overreaction, he will hear this sound before he makes his explanation.
Stop the cap.
If it's not an overreaction, he will get some help from 2 Chainz.
True.
So, Kasey, now that we've updated the rules and set everything, you ready to jump in, or
Let's
you got
do it.
anything else?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get this music in.
Why is this chair so low?
Ask Brent. He was just in there.
He's a small man. Let's go.
All right, Kasey, first one.
Uh-huh.
The Jags don't need DeAndre Hopkins after the sharing of wealth that was seen as 4 Jags receivers caught touchdowns on Saturday.
That is not an overreaction.
Oh.
True.
They don't need DeAndre Hopkins. It is not a need to bring in DeAndre Hopkins.
Well, let's move on then. You don't want DeAndre Hopkins either.
Well,
okay,
I'll tell you this.
I'm glad you come over to the right side.
It would be a whole lot of fun. And if they could somehow work it out, I'd all be for it. But do they need him? Do the Jags need DeAndre Hopkins like humans need air? No. But would it be a whole lot of fun? Would it be a luxury to have? Yes. Yes, it would. That's why I aspire to eventually drive a Tesla, because it would be a luxury. I have a car with 4 wheels. I'm blessed to have it. But it would be a luxury to have a Tesla. And that's what I'm working towards.
With the spicy chicken.
With the spicy chicken. You'll be the first to know.
Okay. I hope I am. I hope that somehow I've been able to parasite my way to also have a Tesla. Okay, next up,
Team
Kasey.
effort, man.
Daniel Jones is a better QB than Justin Herbert. Sounded crazy 7 days ago. Feels like not so crazy a statement now.
No, it does. It's an overreaction.
Oh.
Stop the cap.
Daniel Jones is cooking. Daniel Jones has a playoff win. Justin Herbert does not. I hear you. Loud and clear. Well, I can't go that. I can't do that. Justin Herbert's out here throwing for 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. Daniel Jones throwing for 15. I mean, I can't. Daniel Jones, the growth, the development of Daniel Jones this year has been incredible. He's a playoff winner. I think the Giants should bring him back on a pretty substantial contract. I think he should be the quarterback of the Giants. And if he's not, somebody will pay him to be their quarterback. Potentially Carolina Panthers, Baltimore,
yeah,
Seattle. the Colts, plenty of teams. But he is not a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Absolutely not.
All right, next up. Regardless of what happens moving forward this playoffs, Brock Purdy is the starting QB for San Francisco next year.
Not an overreaction.
Wow. Really?
True.
It is true. I think they should stick with Brock Purdy. So let's look at this reasonably. Jimmy G's gone because you have younger and cheaper Jimmy G. This is Brock Purdy. And probably better. Okay, so let's eliminate that one. Trey Lance was the third pick in the draft. Are you going to move on from Trey Lance? Probably not. Is he going to be fully healthy? We'll see. If Brock Purdy wins a freaking Super Bowl, he's your starting quarterback. If Brock Purdy wins the NFC Championship, he's your quarterback. It's that simple. It is that simple. I don't think anyone thinks they're losing to the Cowboys. But as we sit here right now, I think they're winning the NFC. And if he wins the NFC, he's the quarterback of their team. You're not benching that guy. Because we talked about this at the beginning of the season with Trey Lance. They started off with the Bears and Seattle, I think, or Denver, somebody else that was not great. And we were like, if he goes 0-2, it's going to start getting really loud for Jimmy G. Could you imagine if Brock Purdy takes them deep in the playoffs, they start Trey Lance over him, and he loses the first game? It's going to get loud. It is going to get very loud. I don't know what they're going to do with Trey Lance. If he's got any value, maybe consider moving him. Because Brock Purdy might be legit. Or he might be the product of a good system. I don't know. But if he wins a ring, he wins a ring. It's as simple as that. Stick with Brock Purdy.
Wow. Trey Lance's agent is on line one.
I desperately need Trey Lance to be good. I have thousands of dollars in Trey Lance football cards.
You do.
I need this guy to be great.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be clear on that. But I still would play Brock Purdy because he's the better quarterback right now.
All right.
We don't even know if Trey Lance is good, by the way. He was not good in the first two games.
He wasn't.
We have no clue.
Next up, Tom Brady will be back in the AFC next season.
Overreaction.
Stop the cap.
We just had Daniel call into Brent Friends, and I kind of believe what he's selling. Tom Brady, it makes sense to go to the NFC. Easier path to victory out there. Now, the question is Tom Brady still going to play football? I'm not convinced on that. I think if things really happen the way we do, and it has to do with, football or Giselle, and he chose football, then I would recommend playing another year just not to look like an idiot. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play football. I don't know if he's going to be an announcer. But when you look at the AFC, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You know what that does not sound like? Easy or fun to go through and try to win another Super Bowl. Also, Lamar Jackson, currently. I don't know if he'll still be here, but currently. And you look at the NFC, there's openings. Now, you'd have to move to somewhere in the country you probably don't want to be, like Minnesota or Green Bay. Carolina.
Whoa. Okay, number one, not even first on that list. And then you pause, and then you twisted your face up when you said Carolina. The disrespect, man.
Seattle.
The disrespect.
There are places. But if I'm Tom Brady, I'm trying to get to that NFC.
Now, when you were naming the list of quarterbacks in the AFC, you left off Russell Wilson. Was that on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, I just, you were naming, quarterbacks. All right, Kasey, next up.
It was definitely on purpose.
Cincinnati's performance against the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens team should worry Bengals fans moving forward this postseason.
Overreaction. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
They're gonna be all right. You know how hard it is to beat a team once, twice, 3 times? They just played them last week. That's tough. That is tough. So, no, I ain't worried about it at all. They got talented players, offense and defense. They didn't even run the ball well. Once they figure out how to run the ball, they'll be fine. They're better than Buffalo right now. I wouldn't be worried at all. And Cincinnati, I said this earlier, and I believe it. Cincinnati is a worse matchup for San Francisco than the Chiefs are because they're more talented on the outside. Their offensive line's horrible, so you got to give Joe Burrow some time. But I think in a Super Bowl matchup, Cincinnati presents more trouble than Kansas City would for the 49ers. And we know that Cincinnati has Kansas City's number. So that's a long, we still got multiple weeks and almost a month before we get to that. Actually, a month before we get to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I wouldn't be worried if I was a Cincinnati fan. They're going to be all right. It's going to be a great game with Buffalo, but they're the better team right now than Buffalo. So we'll see. Two good, really good teams, but I wouldn't be worried about it. Not one bit.
All right, Kasey, next up. The Philadelphia Eagles are on upset alert with this version of the Giants coming to town.
Overreaction.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, the Eagles ain't losing the Giants. Like, the Giants deserve a standing ovation for the season. Not yet, though. But when the season's over.
Standing ovation, huh?
They had a fantastic season.
I mean, yeah, standing ovation, huh?
Standing ovation.
Have we not seen a team win that amount of games before?
We have seen a team.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
But we haven't seen a team that looks that dumb all the time. A quarterback who we weren't even sure deserved to be in the league. A roster that is not talented at all. With a first-year head coach go to the playoffs.
Is that dumb all the time? One day you'll have to break down. It looks so
just
dumb
bad
all the
decision
time.
after bad decision. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. And Brian Dable has brought that team to the playoffs, won a game, gonna get Daniel Jones $30 million. Brian Dable deserves at least half.
Oh, yeah, give me
Daniel
a
Jones
cut.
contract.
Yeah, give me a cut, Daniel.
At least half.
Yeah.
No matter if it's with the Giants or the Carolina Panthers. Whoever be paying Daniel Jones better give some of that to Brian Dable. But listen, Eagles aren't on no upset alert. They will be against San Francisco, but they ain't on upset alert just yet. I ain't worried about the Eagles. They'll pick up that W.
All right, Kasey, we're going to stick in the NFC for a second. Justin Jefferson, Chef Jeff, dropped out of the best receiver conversation after only netting 47 yards on 7 catches in Sunday's playoff loss against the Giants.
That's an overreaction.
Stop the cap.
He's still up there. They were doubling him every play. Kirk Cousins did not play well. But, I mean, Kurt Warner went through a breakdown of that last play and why Justin Jefferson didn't get the football. That's because there was 18 dudes right on him. Like, they did a good job covering Justin Jefferson in that football game. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say he should have been better than the double and occasional triple teams that were on him. But, I don't think he's dropping out. It's a bad game. You need a better performance like that in the playoffs. But I think you got to put some on the quarterback. You got to put some on the time the quarterback had, all those things. And the Giants went into the football game and said, we are not losing to Justin Jefferson. We will lose to TJ Hawkinson, and we will lose to Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen and Osborne. We will lose to all those people. We are not losing to Justin Jefferson. And that's what they did. So shout out to them. They executed a game plan that worked. But Chef Jeff is still legit. I don't know if he's the best receiver in the league, but he's in the conversation.
Okay, next up, bringing on to Duval. Trevor Lawrence is one of the 2 best QBs left in the playoffs. I ain't never seen nobody do what he just did on Saturday, ever. Never.
Trevor Lawrence is not, so that's a overreaction.
Stop the cap.
Wow.
You can't even do it. Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and tell you that he's better than Jalen Hurts. Just because we're in Jacksonville. I can't sit here and tell you that.
Okay, all right.
I can't sit here and tell you he's better than Joe Burrow.
All right. I mean, no, that's fair.
I can't sit here and tell you he's better than Josh Allen.
Stop the cap.
All right, next up, Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel did the best coaching job in the Super Wild Card weekend.
Say it again.
Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel did the best coaching job in the Super Wild Card weekend.
No, he was awful.
Stop the cap.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that's your answer. So
yeah, that's my answer.
I don't know. They went up there and showed up.
He couldn't get a play call in.
3rd string quarterback.
Couldn't get a play call in.
Negative 25 degrees against a team that's supposed to be, again, the Super Bowl favorite. But okay. You said no as if, how dare you?
It is how dare you.
Okay, well,
That's no, absolutely not. I borderline would try to go get Sean Payton.
You're so extra for no reason, man. All right.
Could not get the play call in.
All right.
May or may not have been vaping. I don't know. I seen the videos, though. I'm not sold either way.
The next one, man. Sean Payton. Next up.
You would take Sean Payton over Mike McDaniel. I like Mike McDaniel.
Well, yeah, but not in the sense of, hey, you know what? We're going to fire you, Mike, and we're going to bring in Sean Payton after you just brought that team to the playoffs with your third stringer and had a chance to win this game up in Buffalo. No, absolutely I wouldn't do that.
Absolutely I would.
Not for that reason. Just like, hey, I want Sean Payton.
If Sean Payton's like, I want to coach the Dolphins, yes, you're fired, Mike McDaniel.
The Dallas-San Francisco divisional matchup is the true NFC Championship game.
You overreacted.
I already wrote these out, so I know how you feel about Philadelphia.
Overreaction.
Stop the cap.
Philadelphia, San Francisco, the two teams it's meant to be the whole time. The teams it's been since the very beginning. Tale as old as time. Song as old as rhyme. This ain't Beauty and the Beast, but it's San Francisco and the Eagles next week. We just got to get there.
A tale as old as time? Philly and San Francisco?
Song as old as rhyme, Brian. Beauty and the Beast.
Is that a part of the Beauty and the Beast franchise? I don't know.
It is literally the main song. Like, I guarantee you everybody listening was like, yep, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're the only one that didn't get it.
And I'm going to be okay with that.
The question is, which one's Beauty, which one's the Beast?
That's fair. Next up, Kasey. After saying during last week's show that if the Jags were to win against the Chargers, no one would be able to tell you nothing.
Oh, that's right.
Indeed, you have found out since Saturday, nobody has been able to tell you nothing.
Yeah, that's not an overreaction.
Bro.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing around here.
Okay.
Can't tell me nothing. I don't think. So far,
all right.
Tuesday at 6:19 p.m., ain't nobody told me nothing yet.
Okay, Kasey. Do you want to double down on like who are the Chiefs? Like you were talking your talk.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you didn't want to double down on that too.
I'd say you really won't be able to tell me nothing.
Next,
beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, if you beat the Chiefs, it's gonna be.
You ain't tell me nothing.
Stay indoors, okay?
Stay
indoors, y'all, because Duval will probably burn down. Next up, Jalen Hurts is the most important QB left in the playoffs for his respective team.
Overreaction.
Stop the cap.
Is Brock Purdy. No, here's why.
Yeah, I'm glad you're going to make it.
If Brock Purdy goes out there and turns it over 4 times like Trevor Lawrence did, they lose.
Maybe.
Like if he's horrible. Like the Eagles can win if Jalen Hurts isn't on. You see what I'm saying there? Like Brock Purdy can lose the game for his.
Can they? If he's not on?
They run the football.
They were trying to run the football with what's my man name?
Miles Sanders.
Not Miles Sanders. Golly, he just played out here. Why don't I remember his name? Golly, out of sight, out of mind. The backup QB. Gardner. They tried to run the ball then.
Well, Jalen Hurts will physically be in the game, I'm saying. Like, but I'm saying if he's not crisp throwing the football.
That one, man. All right,
but they'll also turn to the run. I don't know.
We got a time crunch. Last one. The Super Bowl champs were indeed practicing at Episcopal High School this past summer.
It's still an overreaction.
Stop the cap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got less than a minute, so you can explain and get us out of here.
I tell you what, they beat Kansas City. You got to bring that one back up. Okay. So I'll have a different answer.
Okay.
Because you got to beat the man to be the man. If they can beat Kansas City, I'll say all kinds of wild things about Episcopal High School in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
The Super Bowl champs are practicing there. But I can't say that just yet. I cannot say that just yet. Well, that was the lightning edition of Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton on a Tuesday. Coming up next right here on ESPN 690 is Florida State men's basketball. They are 5-13. They will play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who are 9-9.
Go ahead, man.
On paper, that's not a good matchup for the Noles. But find out what happens next. It is the Noles and the Fighting Irish up next on ESPN 690. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly clear skies turn partly cloudy overnight. Some fog develops inland. Morning lows dipping down into the lower to mid-50s. On your Wednesday, turning mostly sunny and warm. Highs make it into the mid to upper 70s on Wednesday afternoon. From the Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist